name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Welcome to World Class Bullshitters, the epitome of pop culture. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight, for now, is American Ramrod coach, Kendo Slice.
Glad to be here on this Thursday night, Jeff, this lovely Thursday night, which for me is a Friday because there is no work tomorrow. And this will probably be the second craziest thing that I've had to endure today. The Manchester United match earlier today, Jeff, was another level of fucking wild insanity that I didn't think was possible.
But did your baby take the morning train?
Today, the baby did take the morning train to watch the Manchester United football team. And
greatest team in all the land.
Not anymore. It's been a very interesting 12 years. And they have found interesting and ever increasingly creative ways to just completely shit the bed. Today was one of them, but then a miracle happened in like 6 minutes of the game. And I don't want to bore the audience with it. Just go watch the highlights. Unless you really want me to give you like a hard-hitting analysis of the thing in like 5 minutes, it'll be cool. But I don't think they care.
Are you happy, though? That's all I care about.
Yes, I am very happy with the result. It just kind of points to me. It's awesome that they were able to win and advance to the semifinals in their European campaign. It also just is a finger in the dike, so to speak, and just continuing to paper over the cracks of what the problems really are with the team. But we're going to enjoy it for tonight.
Folks, you heard it here first, folks. Fingering the dike on the champ. But we have all sorts of stuff to talk about. Dion is on his way. Nick had an internet outage in his neck of the woods, so if it's back by 10 o'clock his time, he will be joining us live here on the show. But folks, this is our last episode before WrestleMania, and you're thinking, I don't care about WrestleMania. Well, we don't either, but Dion's coming to town, so you'll probably get some extra bonus shorts from us. Hilarity will ensue, and his wife will be here to make sure that we don't die. So it'll be a great weekend, but join us on social media, Twitter, World Class BS, the WCBS Facebook page, and any other places that we are on, and you'll see some fun stuff this weekend. Speaking of seeing, I'm not on camera tonight, not because I didn't get fixed up or light the room. What you'll notice is there's a huge lag on everything. I'm currently waving my hands like John Cena, and you're not even seeing that yet. There we go. Now it's happening. That's how bad the lag is. So I don't know what the hell's up with this camera. I just got to buy a nice new one, but I will next week. But folks, we have a full show planned for you tonight. We're going to be talking about the Fantastic Four trailer. We're going to be talking about Michelle Trachtenberg's cause of death was announced. We're going to be talking about the Blue Origin flight, WrestleMania predictions, and anything else you want us to talk about, including our old pal Rachel Zegler, how she's about $20 million poorer. But we'll talk about that in a little while. But first up, we have our word of the day, which is brought to us by Shrebbles08. The word of the day is dank. Not another dank movie. How Stella got her dank back. Dude, where's my dank? Star Wars, The Return of Count Dank. Hot dank time machine and a fistful of dank. Kendo? That's a dank ass
Sisterhood
game.
of the Traveling Dank.
Dank Busters.
Yeah. You only dank twice.
Dank and Present Danger.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Dank Air.
I'm surprised we don't have Dank Another Day. Just not another dank movie.
You just can The Dank, starring Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery.
There you go. Or Dank Off.
That's a good one. There will be Dank.
Danky and the Bandit.
No dank for old men.
The Preacher's Dank.
I know what you dank last summer.
Independence Dank. Let's try to put independence and dank in one word. Into Dankins Day.
In Dank Pendence Day.
In Dank Pendence Day.
Saving Private Dank.
Oh, we got a lot of good ones. We got Manos, The Hands of Dank. Bridge on the River Dank. Living Like Dank. 12 Dank Men. The Hunt for Dank October.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court Justice Dankula. Oh, there we go.
Black
Dankamite. The Mandalorian. Dankamite. There, you say Black Dankamite?
Black Dankamite.
There we go. I can get behind that one. Let's see. Any other blaxploitation dank titles I could do?
Boss Dank.
Yeah, Boss Dank. There we go. Boss Gal State.
The other title's way more epic, but we can't say that one on air.
I just won't say it on air. I'll say it to you guys in person any day of the week. But the danking.
That could be our new name for Dion. Anyway, so
I couldn't put that on a t-shirt.
Would be
I think
Scream,
Terminegro is
Scream.
pushing the limit.
Yeah, push it to the limit. Terminegro. There you go. Be the whole song. We'll just take Push It to the Limit and just put Terminegro in there.
Instead of have a song goes push it to the limit, instead of the second background limit, it just goes Negro because you hear it turn really soft. People would love that. I love it already.
Dank Shampoo. That one's for Nick.
There we go. Dank Shampoo. Black Snape Bone. That's just funny. Yeah. Here we go. Our friend Overkill161 sends in a super chat to play the game. Thank you, Overkill161. Another 48 dank hours. Dank Fiction. I'm gonna dank you, Danka. Miracle on Dank Street and Judge Dankula.
Yeah.
I like one. I'm gonna dank you, sucker. Or I'm gonna dank you, Dank.
Beverly Hills Dank.
Dank guy.
I'm trying to think if there's Hot Tub Dank Machine. There you go.
Here's my last one. 21 Dank Street.
And I will go with Dank Fiction. There we go.
Folks, we love your dank titles. Keep sending them in all night long. Yeah. Now, folks, we are going to have some fun tonight. We are going to be playing fake news. We're going to wait till Dion gets here. But I figure, Kendo, we'll talk about a couple things out of order until he gets here. How about this? Did you hear what Michelle Trachtenberg's cause of death was, since we talked about this at the beginning of, well, not the beginning of the show, but when it actually went down?
I believe it was her cause of death was dying.
Yes, her cause of death was death, but it's officially been announced that she died from natural causes due to complications from diabetes mellitus, according to lab results.
That is not what I saw coming with that one, because, I mean, she up and died out of nowhere, but then they came out and said that, like, she had a liver transplant or something and was dealing with issues with that, and then they just came back out and said, no, she had diabetes, which it's like, oh, okay. Which there are people that have, there's two types of beatus, Jeff. There's type 1 and type 2. Type 2 is when you get when you're older because, you know, you're unhealthy and shit. And then type 1 is where you get it from the time you're a kid. And that's the one that, like, they both can get you at any time, but that's the one that's more likely to get you sooner than later than the second one, because the second one you can control better, whereas the first one's harder to, I mean, you can. It's just, that's the badder type, if that's a thing.
I know a lot of people with the beatus. I always wish them well, but I did not realize that Michelle Trachtenberg had it. So she was only 39 too.
Yeah, and somehow Rosie O'Donnell continued doing along. It's just unfair.
Yeah, life is unfair, Kendo. Folks,
yeah.
If you agree that life is unfair, press 1 in the chat, or press 2 if you just don't like Rosie O'Donnell.
Or press 3 if you wished every cackling hen on The View went down before Michelle Trachtenberg did, because that seems unfair too.
Yeah, that's why I had to push 3 in the chat right there. There we go.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give that one a 3 as well, because I agree with that sentiment.
I don't think I disliked a group of talk show hosts as much as I have the women on The View.
What if all the late night people like Kimmel and Fallon and all them get together in a room? Would that count as disliking them even more, or would you still be on The View disliking them more?
It's like the Avengers of lameness, all right? How much shittier can you get? I'm going to go with, because Whoopi Goldberg, or as I called her as a kid, Goofy Wahlberg, is part of The View, or was at least, she's the most annoying. Because she hasn't left. She still lives here. She didn't go to Canada like she promised. She's a liar.
That's true. I would say Joy Behar is more insufferable, but that's just me. I just personally find her worse. But at least Rosie O'Donnell did leave the country. She said she was going to leave, and she left. Which, I mean, if she would have waited around long enough, there's a chance she would have got a letter that says, you have to leave, even though she might not be eligible for deportation. But I wouldn't fight to keep her from getting thrown out of the country.
I wouldn't fight to keep her getting thrown out of like an Arby's. I just don't like her.
Yeah, she's a unique one as well. But she's in Ireland now, which I'm surprised they were willing to take her.
Well, good for us.
She was probably like, my last name's O'Donnell. I'm Irish. Oh, see, I'm an Irishman. And they're like, oh, okay, you can come right in.
Well, that good. Everybody deserves somewhere to live. Just, bye, Rosie. We hardly knew you.
They do have a lot of pastures there, so.
Are they greener?
That's why supposedly, it's the Emerald Isle. It's supposed to be very green there.
Well,
I've only seen the airport.
Next time I hang out with them. Well, it's closer than I've ever been. I've flown over it, I guess, from Germany. Well, would you fly over it? No, you wouldn't. You've been closer than
not. Yeah, if you ever get a chance and you go to Ireland in the Dublin airport, they got a really awesome Guinness bar there that the stuff is as fresh as you're going to get it without actually going to the brewery. That's probably the best Guinness I've ever tasted in my life was at the Dublin airport. And they also had a full Irish breakfast, which was equally incredible.
I'm all about that Irish breakfast.
Hey, 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Well, I don't want to talk about breakfast too much because it's 9 o'clock and I've had dinner, but breakfast always sounds good. Pancakes, bacon, biscuits, and gravy. I could go for all that.
Oh, yeah.
Brad Axe says they hate her in Ireland, too.
I feel like that's probably a thing. Like, she's like walking around probably filled. I'm expecting that to happen. I'm going to call it now at 6:02 Pacific Daylight Time on the 17th of April, 2025. By the end of the year, Rosie O'Donnell is doing something, whether it's on the Twitters or Blue Sky, whatever it is, or whatever platform she does it on. She will be filming videos of her going around Ireland talking about how great it is there and, no regrets about moving away from the United States and all that stuff. I stamp it. That's my prediction for the remainder of 2025. That will happen. We will get that.
I was hoping that she would have been chosen to be one of the first female, whatever these women are. Rosie O'Donnell should have went to outer space, and they should have left her.
Astronauts. Supposedly.
So the other day, I just turned on the news, and I watched the launch. Like, I wasn't trying to. It just so happened to be on. But all I did is laugh, because I thought, why the fuck is Katy Perry going to outer space?
So she could ride a cock-shaped spaceship for Jeff Bezos and not have to give him any later? I don't know. Just be like, look, I was already on it once today. Leave me alone. I did think it was funny that this was supposed to be like breaking news that women went to space when there's a whole row of astronauts that are women that have been to space already. I just find this entire thing hilarious that they're like, they couldn't do the whole we've sent a woman to space thing because been done. We've sent them to space. We've killed them on their way back from space. They've gotten all the equal treatment men have in terms of space travel, with the exception of getting to walk on the moon. But that was a different time. And now we're going to go ahead and send them all together, just them to space, because that's how we're going to one up everybody. And no one cared, but the memes have been great because the Katy Perry kissing the ground thing is a perfect meme. And the memes of them compared to the lady and the man astronaut that were stranded at the International Space Station for 9 months, comparing them to their 12-minute little space flight thing has just been pure gold. So I love it.
Yeah, the internet is never failing to deliver on the memes or the parody. So just like everything else, it's made me chuckle. What up, Dion?
What up, Sunny boys? My two homies, my brothers from other mothers, from other covers. What's happening?
Well, we were just talking about the space launch, but folks, we got to give the proper introduction to America's stepdad, Dion Green. Sorry about that, Dion. Now you may proceed. No, we're just making fun of this because we were waiting for you to do fake news.
Right. I'm ready. This whole thing has been hilarious. Katy Perry refuses to give up the gig, so to speak. And hey, fellow pores, don't you want to go to space?
Not really. It's like you went to outer space you went to orbit for 11 minutes. Like if they would have went up and done something cool, made it past the Van Allen radiation belt, maybe got pelted by cosmic rays, came back, had superpowers, then I'd talk. I'd be more impressed. But
Yeah.
they went up in a dick-shaped rocket. They came down 12 minutes later, and nobody exploded. So,
I mean, technically, I guess you could say they'd even go to space because they didn't get out of our atmosphere. Like they were. It's not like they went out like to the moon and back. I mean, we've sent people that direction before. But yeah, so like, could we put an asterisk on this one? Kind of like, so yeah, Barry Bonds did hit the most home runs in history, but we're going to kind of put a little dot on that one because we also know that he may have been juiced up when he did it. And Hank Aaron's the actual home run champion. But could we asterisk this thing right here and say, look, these ladies, they were the all-female crew that went to space and that they went into small orbit in the atmosphere and everything was okay. And they were only there for like 11 minutes or so. But, you know, I don't ever want to wish ill on anybody, but if this thing would have went kapoosh, it would have gave a whole new meaning to Baby You're a Firework by Katy Perry. So,
had that. True. When I watched the launch, I kept thinking of that song, and I was like,
"Because you're like, if this thing just goes kapow, holy shit, does that song have a new legacy?"
I don't know if I could have put the video out fast enough. I know we would have lost some people. Would be like, "That's tasteless." I'm like, "Come on, we had to be the first one to make the joke."
We would have been all over the news.
Firework, your ticket was not that worth. You went up and you
and you watch your body blow up. I know, tasteless, but we are world class.
Yeah, well, you know, we make it fun though.
It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
We're saying, what if they didn't blow up? They came back down after 11 harrowing minutes. Katy Perry kissed the ground, and we're supposed to fawn over this.
Katy Perry was like, they're like, what did you feel? She was like, I'm just so connected to love. You're like, then that means that they probably could have blown up and we weren't that upset about it. You know, I'm just saying.
I just want to know why Katy Perry? Like,
well, you know why? Because this was a stunt for rich people, and they were like, hey, who's rich and popular? And Katy Perry was somehow able to convince people that she was popular. And her hair was taken care of in the right place. The same amount of which that Gail King could get on that same thing. Same reason.
They should have sent Taylor Swift, because then I would have really pushed for it to explode.
I mean, no. I would not want that, because then Travis Kelce would have a bad season next year, and I can't be living with that. Like, that's the only thing. I'm not going to call myself a Swiftie.
You're trying to win playoff games up in here.
But yeah, I would like to see the team go deep and make up for that ass whooping they received in the Super Bowl. And it's going to be hard to do that if his mind is thinking about how his girlfriend fucking blew up in space. So
maybe he'll use that as motivation, though, Kendo. Maybe he'll see, holy shit, I got to win one for Taylor instead of the Micker. You know.
Taylor,
thank you, Dion. That was for you.
My man, okay. You get it.
That could theoretically work. He could play extra angry, but I don't know. I feel like, you know, we're coming up on mini camps and fucking OTAs and shit. We can't have him bogged down with that stuff in his mind.
That's fair. I wish everybody the best. Well, not everybody, but most people. Some people. Dion, you know what's up. You guys ready for some fake news?
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, you know the rules, but for those listening that don't know, I'm going to read you 3 headlines. You need to determine which one is the fake headline. A missing toddler who walked 7 miles alone through Arizona wilderness was led to safety by a dog. Number 2, former child actor Haley Joel Osment was arrested at a ski resort. Or number 3, former World of Warcraft developer start a studio where the only female staffer is a dog.
So I know number 2 about Haley Joel Osment is true. I read that one earlier today.
Give me the first one, the dog one. The only female one is the dog one.
The first one is just so heartwarming and charming. I want that to be true.
Well, I have good news. I'll tell everybody in a second. Let's read the chat. So Thunder Robot says the third is fake. Clone Geek also saw the first one today. Let's see. Enrique Vasquez is going to guess that they're all true. Well, let's see. TLJ Screwjob, and the first one is true. First one sounds impossible. All right, we're going to give you guys till the count of 10, and then we're going to read you the answer. So how does that go? I'm giving you the count of 10 to get your yellow, ugly, no good keister off my, whatever he says. 1, 2, 10.
True, false.
True, false? Well, Dr. Coffin-Nails is correct, like Enrique. These are all true stories. Yes, the first one about the dog leading a missing baby to safety is a heartwarming story, and it's true. It comes from NBC News. Haley Joel Osment getting arrested for public intoxication is a very true story as well. And even though it sounds crazy, the developer, where the only female is a dog, comes from Kotaku, and they're complaining about patriarchy. So there we go. They're all true stories. It's like me whatever. Who cares? Make a good video game and I'll buy it. I don't care what the person looks like. But no.
Exactly. That's all we ask for. We don't need. We're not asking for representation, all stuff. We're asking for good quality shit by whoever gives it to us.
Yeah, and not $90 video games. But that's a topic for another time. So, folks, thank you for playing fake news with us, where sometimes the headlines are true and sometimes they're completely fake. So let's check in. Let's see. We're all caught up with the audience because our word of the day was dank. So let's move on to the topic of this evening for trailer talk. The Fantastic Four trailer has dropped. Now, folks, back in 1961, Marvel Comics released a well-known comic book called The Fantastic Four. And it featured Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm as The Thing. And the Fantastic Four went to basically turn Marvel into the juggernaut it is today. I know Spider-Man is their prime character, but for a small window of time, it was the Fantastic Four that was the superhero team to beat. And now the Fantastic Four have been on film many, many times. This is actually the fourth film titled Fantastic Four. So will the fourth time be the charm? Well, we'll find out in a couple of months. But the first one was unreleased. It was directed by Roger Corman. It never had an intention of being released. Then, in 2005, we had Fantastic Four directed by Tim Story. And finally, in 2015, we had Fan-tastic. So here we are 10 years later again. It seems like every 10 years you got to have a Fantastic Four reboot. And here we are with Fantastic Four from Marvel. And the trailer, the official trailer, dropped today. And we're going to talk about what you guys think, what I think, and then we'll talk about what the internet is saying, because it's kind of interesting to read some of the responses for this film. This is a nice graphic. We'll use this one right here. So here's the Fantastic Four on your screen right there. Now, Dion, you watched this trailer. What did you think of this?
This trailer was not as interesting as the teaser, but it kept me invested. Listen, I said this years ago. I believe it was after there's something wrong with him. It was after Captain Marvel. My pick still is, and I will stand by it, is make a good Fantastic Four movie. And, this trailer didn't get me more excited, but it did do, it was a good enough trailer, man. It built on what the teaser did. I'm excited enough that the fact that they made it seem a little bit more serious in this trailer. I'm pumped for July, man. It didn't deter me, but I'm still invested. I'm still invested, especially when you got, Johnny Storm touching the surfboard. I'm invested, man. I'm invested.
Kendo, thoughts on this trailer?
Dion can have my investment. I was planning on not seeing it in theaters, wait till it's streaming. I still plan on seeing it when it hits streaming. I want to like it. I want to get into superhero movies again. I want to be excited for superhero movies again. It's just not working. If there is a discount theater one day, or they're running, hey, it's summertime and we want you to come to the movies on Tuesday, you can get it for $5, then maybe, yeah, I'll go be like, all right, I'm gonna go see the Fantastic Four. But as of now, I'm where I was last week. I'm just not ready to take that extra step towards wanting to go watch it right now.
See, yeah, I'm in a similar boat with you. I didn't hate this trailer. I just didn't feel much from it. I wasn't inspired. I didn't get excited. I like the visual aesthetic that they're going for, that it's the 1960s. It's going to be a period piece. It's something different that we haven't seen. I'm not sold on a couple of things. I don't like the Thing's voice whatsoever. The accent just, it's too soft of a voice. I'm used to the Thing having his gruff New York voice, and that's part of the character. Every iteration's had it. It's like Doctor Doom with that cool robotic voice. It blends with the character well. Outside of that, I'm really just not sold on the cast. I don't look at these people and get excited. The CGI for the Thing, his head looks a little tiny, but that's just me being an artist. But like overall, I'm not pumped. I watched this. It looks more exciting than the Thunderbolts, but I'm not feeling any kind of inspiration to rush out and pre-order a ticket. It's more of a, hey, I'm going to see this for the show. We'll review it in 3 months type of thing. It's not really, man, God, I can't wait to go out and watch this movie. Like the new Anaconda with Paul Rudd and Jack Black. Like, I can't believe that's a real movie, by the way, Dion. Have you seen that? That's coming out.
Anaconda?
An Anaconda remake starring Paul Rudd and Jack Black.
No. That real?
It's real.
You got me at Paul Rudd, but you lose me at Jack Black. It's very difficult there.
See, I don't dislike Jack Black at all. I know people were mad about what happened with the Tenacious D concert, but okay, that was dumb. But I like most of his movies. Like, I haven't seen Minecraft, and I'm never going to watch it, but I love The Pick of Destiny. I like Orange County. I like him in The Cable Guy. I like Tropic Thunder. Like, I like more Jack Black movies than I dislike Jack Black movies. So he's still okay in my book. That being said, though, Paul Rudd is the selling point. I will watch Paul Rudd in anything. That dude, he hasn't done any wrong in a movie yet. Maybe he's not in the world's best movies, but he's also not a douche. So
it's true. It's very true.
So,
see folks,
real quick.
That's why. Okay, good.
Well, I was going to say in the chat, somebody brings up where is Dr. Doom from the trailer, which one, it's kind of funny because it's a Marvel movie or it's a comic book movie, and they're not giving away the spoiler about Batman versus Superman. But at the same time, they've already fucking given it away with Dr. Doom being played by RDJ. So it's like, if we didn't know that already, but we knew they were going to be dealing with Dr. Doom, and we didn't have that idea, that'd be like, oh yeah, shit, they didn't tease the villain in this one. And then they could make another teaser trailer showing Dr. Doom. Be like, okay, shit, they're going to be, yeah, okay, this is going to be cool, this is going to be cool. And then they could give away they could give it away in the movie that it's, Robert Downey Jr., but they already gave us it. They're doing it backwards. They're like, here's the reveal of the villain, and then we're just going to take him away from the trailer.
I don't think we're going to get Dr. Doom because we're going to get Galactus and the Silver Surfer. So we have to have the fucking, was it Fantastic Four 48 through 50, right? Or is it 49 through 51? I don't care. My point is we're getting the Galactus trilogy, and having gone back to read the old classic Fantastic Four, not really the best story arc they've ever put out. There are some good stories, but I'm not really excited to just see Galactus like walk through a city, or like we've had such big.
So this is my thing. Like, for you to say to me that you're not excited for Galactus, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Because first off,
I
tell you what the fuck I'm talking about. No, these movies have been disappointing for such a long time that there is nothing that they're going to show me that's going to interest me, that's going to blow me away. Oh my God, Galactus walks through the city. Cool. As long as you keep the tone like is something scary or intimidating and not make a joke out of it every 5 minutes, I'll be there. But,
emotion too?
Sorry, I had you muted. I had you muted the whole time. What'd you say?
You need to be spoon-fed in emotion too? You need to be scared, excited?
Dion, I mean this is a nice way. You like every movie that comes out. Every week, it's how much does Dion like something. I'm sorry that you're so excited for the Fantastic Four. There hasn't even been a good Fantastic Four movie ever. Ever.
Okay.
They all suck dick. This one has a lot to live up to. We got to sit through Herbie the fucking robot. Oh, wow, Herbie from the 1970s.
Tell me what you think, motherfucker. I don't need to think. I lived through
Hey, hold on a second. Let me meet you again. What are you asking me to say?
Your actual thoughts on what's coming out.
I have very little interest in what's coming out. Hold on, you already asked the question. Yeah, I'm not really excited for a Fantastic Four movie that, one, is full of actors that I don't think are that exciting to watch. Like, hey, it's Pedro Pascal again. The dude's been in more movies than like anybody in the last 5 years. Personally, I would have liked to have seen somebody else play Reed Richards that is more in line with the character. Someone who's got that scientific warm edge, because Reed Richards isn't some weirdo outsider. He's a normal dude who's so deep into his scientific work that he lets his family and his life kind of get away from him. He's not this guy that's going to be awkward and reserved. He's got a kind of weird complex about him where he calls himself Mr. Fantastic because he's got issues. Like, I don't think Pedro Pascal is the dude for this. That's my first complaint. It's nothing to do with his politics or his bullshit on the Last of Us.
You brought that up.
I'm reading the chat.
I'm not interested. Listen, if anyone to tell you, the chat, Kendo, Nick, your mama, anybody, I agree that I'm excited about any movie. You bringing up he's not an outsider. Where does that come from?
The fucking comic books that it's based on. That's where it comes from.
He's an outsider.
So no, he's not an outsider. He's not. That's what I'm saying.
You want
he's
him to
not
be
an outsider. I'm getting that from the comic book, from this trailer.
Yeah, so if he in the comic books, he is an outsider. You want him
no,
to be an outsider?
He's not an outsider in the comic books. He's acted like one in this trailer. They're pushing him to the side to make the honestly, let's be real. The Fantastic Four, Sue Storm is just the girl in the story. She's not really the heart and soul of the fucking team and never has been until later when they tried to revamp it with John Byrne in the 1980s. So if you're trying to keep a 1960s tone, keep a 1960s tone. Don't jump around to the 1980s. Don't jump around to Shambhala and this alternate universe shit.
What 1960s tone specific are you talking about? With regards to roots, so you brought up Sue Storm in the 1980s. What 1960s specific Sue Storm thing are you looking for?
For her to take a backseat to Reed Richards, who's actually the leader of the team, not her at all.
Is he an outsider or not an outsider?
In this movie, he looks to be. He looks to be socially awkward and weird, and she picks up the slack.
You don't want him to be an outsider.
No, I want him to be Mr. Fantastic. I want him to have an ego about himself that gets out of control, and he fucks up sometimes because he's so involved in his scientific goals that he lets his hot wife go almost lose his wife to the Submariner. Like, that's the kind of shit I want to see, where like the characters.
What in this movie gives you that he's not going to be that?
Because they have jumped to the point of the story where she's pregnant with their kid. All of that shit with the Submariner will not be addressed in this movie, because we are past that point in the story. We have gotten to the point where they are established. We're not going to get their origins been changed.
She's for sure pregnant in this movie.
Did you not watch the trailer?
I did watch the trailer.
It literally goes, she goes, "I'm late." And he goes, "Yeah, for dinner." And then she goes, "No, I'm late." He goes, "Oh my God, you're going to be the best mom ever." And then he hugs Reed and he goes, "You'll be okay. You're in over your head."
Right. So that's the pregnancy scare. We ain't see the storyline development of that. So I agree that they've passed the Submariner part, which again is part of it that, is interesting to the character. But from the trailer, you're divulging a lot that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about yet. So
what are you talking about?
We don't know. I'm saying we don't know where that, until we see they're going to have a baby. What we do know is that they're, especially in the timeline of the franchise, that they're gone. So yeah, they might be teasing a pregnancy thing, but I mean, unless we're expecting them to come up with Franklin and whatever the other kid's name is, we don't know what that's going to lead to.
Yeah, we do, because they're just adapting the comic.
Say what?
We do, though, because they always adapt these things in a similar fashion where you can follow it. It's like,
but they always a length enough away from the comics too.
Not in this way. Not in the way that's just like
that yet. Not from the trailers.
Are you saying that she's not going to be pregnant in the?
No, I didn't say that. This ain't the view. I'm saying that from what you and I are talking about, it is a story point. I'm not saying anything in terms of from here to the future. I'm saying it's a story point. We don't know where they're going to go. We don't know if the kids are going to be a thing yet. What we know is from the trailer, and from the trailer, she brings it up. And I'm assuming it's going to have something to do with them coming back to the current timeline. And you saying that they stay close enough to the comic books in the way that they've waited, Iron Man is someone going to be Dr. Doom. So they ain't staying that close in the comic books.
Oh, believe me, I am not happy about that one either. Dr.
I
Doom.
agree. I'm not happy about it either. But
Dr. Doom is their best villain. You talk about what I'd be excited for. I'd be excited to see like Dr. Doom, Master of the Universe, where it's like you think they finally beat this dude, and then it's a Doom bot, and it's like, oh shit, he's so, you know. Or I want to see him walk on American soil with his diplomatic immunity, a la Lethal Weapon 2, and get away with some shit, and have like a villain that these superheroes can't legally touch, and they gotta,
we ain't the motherfuckers white in the movie. So my only point is, besides you trying to bring up that I like every movie, we don't know yet. And what I'm saying is, specifically in terms of what you're saying on the show in front of the people, we don't know what it's going to be from the trailer. And I'm simply saying what you're saying is conjecture. So while I'm excited for July, everything that you're saying based on the trailer is a fugazi, baby. What you're saying is bullshit until we see the movie yet.
I'll make you a Duke's Brothers bet right now.
Ooh, hey, don't bring up Duke's Brothers and then you ain't gonna fucking pass through, because you said that Captain America was gonna die and your boy said it was Iron Man. So if you're gonna give Duke's Brothers, it better be
Dick the Bruiser Brody. Is that what we're talking about now?
It's a Dick Bruiser bet.
Hey! It better be worth it. What is it? What's the bet?
A Duke's Brothers bet, $1.
Okay,
Yeah.
What's the bet, baby? Come on.
Sorry, I got a message about the Star Wars stuff. No, the Duke's Brothers bet is. What is the Duke's? Kendo, you've been kind of listening to this bitch fest. What are we betting on?
Motherfucking
I wish my camera wasn't so laggy. I'd be on camera right now. God damn.
So the Duke Brothers bet would be that Pedro Pascal is this meekish outsider guy. He's not flamboyant, over the top. I'm the greatest in the world, Mr. Fantastic.
Specifics, bitch. I don't discuss things in internet speak. Specifics for the movie. You say outsider, I don't want to hear. Listen, your boy's undefeated in 2025. I want specifics. You say outsider, what does he do specifically? Does Sue save the day? Does he step back? Is it Johnny Storm becomes a bitch? I want specifics. Listen,
all those things. You know what, Dion? I'll lump all those things into the bet. Everything you just said, I will say happens in the movie. Because why? Like in the trailer, when the Silver Surfer appears and talks to her, do you defend this planet? She steps up and says yes. That's the leader of the team. Because I don't care what
you're
team it is.
that Sue Storm is specifically a leader of the team in this movie.
Spiritually, yes. She will be the one that makes the big decisions.
Right. There's one bet. That's one. Hey, we can have multiple Dick Bruiser bets on this thing.
Flat out, this ain't Ben Shapiro show, baby. Is she not spiritually?
I'm not Jewish, Dion.
Is she the leader of the team put out in this movie? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, you're on.
She's the leader of the team. Johnny Storm is no longer the hothead guy who's riding around his Corvette picking up girls. The thing will be
he's no longer. So what is he instead?
He's going to be kind of like the actor Joseph Quinn, is kind of soft and meek and more like focused on the family. He's not going to be, because both the Human Torch and Spider-Man were assholes in the 60s. Like if you read their comic books, you're like, why do people like them? They're assholes. So that's what's going to go down. Okay. And I say Mr. Fantastic is the most quiet member of the team. He will talk when the characters are in public settings. He will talk when the characters are on television or being interviewed by the news. But when the characters are doing their superheroing things, I say he plays second fiddle to the Invisible Girl, and I say that the Thing will be probably the best, most quotable character in the movie.
Okay.
And that Dion will like the movie.
Of course, baby. I'm the movie guy. I like movies. I want to see your words put to pavement. I'm not interested in the internet talk.
Well, Dion, when you come here tomorrow, I will go to the pavement and I will take a Sharpie marker and I will write Duke's Brothers bet in the pavement. We will go to a public place. Fuck, man, I'll do you one better. If you and we will call a friend that has this access. We'll go find where some wet cement in the city, and I will write in the cement with a stick, Duke's Brothers bet, Mr. Fantastic is a bitch. That'll be in cement. And whatever the ramifications are, I will deal with them face front, true believer.
I like it. I like it. I love it. I love it.
Oh my God. And I didn't drink my beer tonight on the show.
You came to a knife fight with a spoon.
Well, at least I'm not like, well, hold on. I'm the Punisher. I came to a gunfight with a knife, and then I pressed the button, and the knife ejected and stabbed the dude in the throat. That was such a good movie. He was my favorite.
He's a man.
Did you watch the Daredevil show with John Bernthal? He came back.
I did see that he came back. I have not watched it yet. I keep telling myself I'm going to watch. I'm going to finish 3 and then jump on this one. I do follow, quote unquote, Daredevil on Instagram. So I've been looking at all the clips. I have not caught up on the current show, though.
It's not like this terrible garbage show, but it doesn't have the same look and feel as the one on Netflix. Because the one on Netflix kind of was gritty, and I'm not going to say any of this shit is realistic to like a fault, but it felt as realistic as you could make Daredevil. Like that hallway fight. Remember how badass that shit was? And we both would text each other like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Yep.
There's like a weird CGI veneer to this show. And you got the same actors, and you got, you know, a decent costume and all these other things, but it just looks a little overproduced. And just in a way that, like, when you think of Daredevil, it is, you know, Frank Miller, gritty, hard-nosed detective type of shit. You know, if you're adapting that era. But they are adapting that era, where the Kingpin is, you know, the king of New York, essentially. So, you know, you'll like it because it's Daredevil. I didn't hate it because it was Daredevil. I haven't finished it, though. And that's something I'm looking forward to eventually. What the fuck? Who's texting me now? Sorry, this phone's been going off because it thinks we're in Japan right now. So that's what.
Well, we did have Star Wars Celebration on our calendars.
I don't miss it. Do you?
I don't.
It's like no one has brought it up. And look at folks. If we would have went there for all that money and done all that shit, it's still Disney Star Wars, and I don't think any of us would have been happy. We would have just been in Japan.
I mean,
that's
you know,
where the laws about
to my
drinking
earlier
and
point.
carousing are far more strict.
I mean, listen, to my earlier point, we're just in Japan, you know. That's still pretty cool. But for Star Wars, you know what I mean?
Well, Dion, what we'll do is we'll just go to Japan one day, and it won't be a business trip. It'll just be,
I like it.
Hey, we're going to go to Akihabara and buy toys and comic books that we can't really read the packaging or the books. We're just buying cool shit to buy cool shit.
Dan and Joel might not come back.
Joel won't come back. Dan might not make it into the country with the asthma, but you know. When he found out you were coming to town, he's like, "Oh, I'm off work tomorrow." He's like, "Can I come?" I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of telling you why." You know,
Right,
no,
yeah.
Dan, I'm the king of Cincinnati. I dictate who can go where. Clearly, I have that power, that latitude, if you will. I'd be horrible if I could control Cincinnati. What would I do? I'd probably get rid of our soccer stadium. No, I'd keep that. It makes money.
Aren't they?
I would get rid of the streetcar because they put all this money into our streetcar system and it destroyed the city. But we'll talk about that later, folks, when you care about public transit via WCBS. What do you think the Fantastic Four is going to make? Do you think it crosses the $1 billion mark?
No, I'd say it makes. I'd say it makes $850.
Kendo?
Are we going worldwide or domesticated?
Well, let's go worldwide. Domesticated is too sad.
I'm gonna go with 633.
I'm gonna guess 750, just because I don't think this movie's gonna flop in the slightest bit. Because even Captain America, while it's not a hit and didn't even break even, like, this is the Fantastic Four, and you're gonna get a lot of that older generation that's like, let's see, Fantastic Four is what, 64 years old at this point, so you're gonna have like 60-year-old guys that grew up reading the book, and then their dads, and like an older generation's gonna go watch this one. If they're happy, I want to be happy. That's the thing. I might not be pumped because like the gimmick of Galactus walking through the city isn't, what I'm like. I want to see Galactus kind of get punked out by the Ultimate Nullifier. That'd be kind of funny if he just, because in the book, Reed Richards just stretches his arm and puts this remote to the guy's face, and he like gets scared and walks off. I'd love if they had the nerve to do that, but I don't think it's going to be this outright flop. I don't think the Thunderbolts in a couple of weeks are going to move the needle, and I think a lot of people are going to use that as a litmus test for, oh man, the Fantastic Four is doomed. But I don't think, I don't think that's going to be the issue. I think this movie will perform kind of like how Deadpool performed compared to, what the hell came out last year early? Like, what was the Marvel movie before Deadpool last year?
I know Agatha was streaming. What was the
was it Madam Web?
No,
that was actually so bad it was
that's
good.
Sony. That was
Was it that one? Since you're talking about the movie last year, was that one with that one guy in it?
Yeah,
and
maybe
the one place with the one thing.
Yeah, where they did some stuff and there was like some effects. And yeah, totally.
I guess that Deadpool was the only MCU movie that was the first one that came out last year. Yeah, came out in July. Oh well.
Yeah, I can't remember anything before that.
Before that, I think it was the Marvels. No, yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about more Fantastic Four as we get closer to it. I guess my big complaint would be I don't like the costumes, but that's just a personal taste. I wish they'd do the black and blue instead of the the blue and white, because that's like the 90s style. And that classic 60s look was just on point. But you can't adapt everything one-to-one. It's not Spider-Man. What would you guys say, though, if the Chris Evans Fantastic Four was more successful than this new one?
It'd be hilarious.
I would say, well, good thing he was in Wolverine Deadpool.
All right. That's a fair point. And then he got skinned alive.
Yes.
I haven't watched Wolverine and Deadpool since it came out in theaters. Have you guys?
I have. I know now is the popular YouTube thing. There was, what's his name? I can't remember the guy's name. Where it's like, oh, it gets worse with every watch. So I'm waiting for the anti-Wolverine Deadpool sentiment to get hot on the YouTube spaces, because ain't nobody else got shit to make videos about.
I haven't watched it at all.
It's fine. Like, I don't dislike it. I don't, it doesn't suck. I just never need to watch it again. The first one's really good. The first one's really good.
Yeah. To me, I was just believing in the whole the law of diminishing returns. The first one was really, really good. The second one I enjoyed, but it wasn't nearly as good. And I'm like, the third one's probably not going to have the same energy. It's not going to carry the same steam.
I got the references and everything. It's. I think we're definitely in that space with online entertainment where there is going to be a initial excitement wave, and then there's the contrarian wave. And I think Wolverine Deadpool is right at the beginning of that.
Yeah. I think we're at a point, though, and this isn't directed at you, because I don't want people to think like we actually have beef for some dumb shit.
Sure.
No, but this is going to tie into what we're going to say a little later, and this is about Triple H more than anything else. I do feel like we're at a point, though, where companies try to say, we don't really want to hear what people on the internet have to say, but they only want to hear the positive stuff. And that doesn't work in any medium. Good, like, you have to acknowledge the good and the bad. Now, this isn't Samurai Cop. This isn't complete garbage that we're laughing at because it's, ironically funny, shit like that. But I do think it's important to at least remind ourselves that the hype surrounding something is just as disingenuous as the overt negativity, because people, it's all emotion. I would love to say that people think logically, but this is 2025, okay? And we live in the dumbest timeline. Thankfully, like, the Hawk Tuah girl slowed down, but we have other problems to deal with now.
She made a comeback.
Oh, she did? Fuck.
So sidetrack real quick. She did come back. The Talk To It came back for like an episode where her and some broad went to, I think, England to talk to KSI, or saw him referred to in a video, Black Jake Paul, which I think is just fucking hilarious. Or was it Black Logan Paul? It was one of them. And
Logan Paul?
Yeah, Logan Paul. And the entire interview was like a totally different level of retarded. Like, you would think you get this guy, KSI, who's very well known on the internet and everything, and you'd ask him questions about, like, how'd you get into this? What are some of the cool things you've done? This and that. They're asking him, like, really stupid shit that I can't even remember how dumb the questions were. And that episode, like, tanked. So, yes, Hawk to a Girl came back after her hiatus from her meme coin going completely tits up and costing lots of people money. And, they flew all the way to England to talk to KSI, and it was like the dumbest interview you could ever do. Look it up. It is completely stupid in every freaking way. And her comeback was literally making the standing 8 count, but still kind of having the wobbly legs, and Mills Lane really needs to wave it off. Do you not get that?
Don't allow it. No, but I wouldn't mind if we took both sides of the extreme spectrum, from the excitement, like the extreme excitement, to the extreme hatred. Because you are right, Dion. Like, a lot of times people make shit content-wise just because it's easier for the algorithm. Like, how many MCU is dead videos have you seen this week? Probably more than you wanted to, right?
That's an understatement.
My favorite videos currently are WrestleMania's got a shitty build. Like, because I think it really does. And hearing Triple H go on about, I don't like the people on the internet, blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, if you don't care about the people on the internet, he said it's not a real thing. Okay, then take your goddamn website down and stop selling T-shirts on your WWE shop. That's not real, apparently.
To be fair, there's another company, a rival company, so to speak, that plays specifically to the internet. So maybe that's what he's trying to say. Like, we're not going to play specifically to the internet. And
even if that were the case, the part that I loved about what Triple H had to say is that you would have to literally take from your brain a hammer, a chisel, and forget that the authority angle wasn't a thing. So I get, to your point, Kendo, I get what he's trying to say. To the other side of it is, to Jeff's point specifically with the WWE website thing, like, you're just saying things now. Like, if you like, and that's
I get that too.
Wrestling. That's a very wrestling thing, right? Like, we're dealing with the consequence of having the internet. At the same time, if you're replacing the internet for critique, that's where I start to have a problem. And listen, I guess WrestleMania season, but to pretend the internet is a thing is you trying to act like WrestleMania happened as planned, which, listen, baby, I was born in the morning. I wasn't born this morning. Don't act like the internet is just, it's not real. It's magic. You didn't change WrestleMania because you and your father-in-law and your wife had to sit down and really thought about it for a minute. No, things like that, specific, and 31. Listen, it's the 10-year anniversary of 31. Everyone is very high on Seth Rollins, but people who were adults at that time, we all know what the original plan for 31 was. So him saying this thing about the internet is Triple H being Triple H because he's going into the Hall of Fame. Well, that's all that is.
To bounce off of that stuff, where do you think that, let's just hypothesize, since we're still talking about the Fantastic Four, let's just hypothesize that there's a push to discredit all online critique because let's say that the companies either think it costs them money or they only want to focus on certain discourse, but there's enough people out there that do want that type of critique and criticism. Do you think that these bigger companies should just ignore that stuff, or should they push back against it?
Well, I wouldn't say push back. Listen, to that very question, we are living in a world in entertainment where confrontation breeds views, whether it's online, movie ticket sales, TV watches, streams, whatever. I think it's very clear that right now, people who are footing the bill for these things are banking on a confrontational fan base. To that point, real quick, it is not a coincidence that, Roman Reigns and Star Wars sucking at the same time ain't a coincidence. I think a lot, especially in 2015, that was a benchmark with everything that was producing content had an idea of what they thought was going to make money. To your point, I wouldn't say that leaning against it is the thing. I think doing something that's not based on adversarial marketing is the way to go. So not trying to do the current landscape of what's popular, but something in the middle. I think we're at a place where something in the middle is going to work the best. And while I hope this is an answer to your question, I'm going to say the not leaning into it with a sprinkle of, you get more flies with honey, baby.
Yeah, I would say, to Dion's point, running a campaign of we're going to go against the internet, we're going to run, we're going to go, head to head with it or whatever it is, that type of thing. No, because that's just going to breed the wrong type of controversy. You're going to get people that will just, yes, I see, you've got magnets, very good. He's learning that two poles can't go together because he's got the two little darts and they won't go together.
I'm proud of you, Pat. I'm proud of you, big dog. Your uncle loves you.
He's very proud of he's proud of the fact that he can get them all to stick together too. So anyway, you don't want to run adversarial to the internet because you can't say, oh, the internet's not a thing, it's imaginary, but then you're doing something directly to passively, aggressively, or even directly, run a front of the internet, so to speak, and against it. You don't want to do that, but at the same time, it's one of those. Just do your plans and do what you plan to do. And if people on the internet get pissy about it, don't worry about it. Just create your plan and see it through. That's what you should do. Don't make anything that's directly confrontational, but at the same time, don't make anything that shies away from it. Just live your life, I guess. Book your WrestleMania the way you want to, not because you're trying to get Dave Meltzer to suck you off on The Observer.
And, same thing with that on the geek culture side with the Fantastic Four and these other things. I do feel like a lot of the press is the one that pushes for the adversarial content against the internet. I don't know why. There's millions of reasons. Okay, there's about a dozen reasons why I could come up with off the top of my head. And I'll spare them for you right now. But my point is, I don't think it's necessarily always people that make these movies that have these problems. Even Script Doctor says this too. A lot of it's just journalists that get actors to say stupid shit. Or in the case of, what was it the other day? Maybe it was the Molly Ringwald thing where it's she was trying to wax philosophical about the Breakfast Club and how it's too white and this and that. And I'm like, are you guys just conditioned to say stupid shit? Is that how you think you'll get attention today? Or is that, that's neither here nor there. My point is, though, I do think there are people out there that like the adversarial relationship because it garners the clicks, and studios probably think that gets people to go see these movies, because I don't think blind hype would get people to go see a movie or at least know about it. But, controversy and chaos, people love that. We're all humans. We love a good, bitch fest as we roll back to the beginning of our show. I mean, everybody loves that shit. So it's kind of a weird time to be consuming entertainment, because it's you can't just consume anymore. Everybody's in on how it works. Everybody has an opinion on how it works. And I don't even think you can have have we had a conversation just personally where we just talk about a movie like we used to back in the day? Or is it always we, have that internet?
It's like this, because this is usually where we talk to each other about movies, is on the podcast and or things. But back to an earlier point, that's kind of where we're at nowadays, because we want to say, oh, tribalism is bad, tribalism this. There's two major tribes when you get to entertainment and shit like that. You got the people that love the stuff and they will eat it all up. And then you got the people that are just going to hate everything just because that's just what it is. And the, entertainment companies know this. The news media companies know this. That is why there is like not only like political like polarization, like hyperpolarization, there's entertainment, there's in the media too. People that will only go to like one type of site. They will only go to another type of site. There's clickbait headlines, rage bait headlines, all that stuff specifically just to garner the attention and the clicks. And people do, I think, hate watch things. I don't know if they pay to hate watch things, but Dion will understand this. Like, as a sports fan, 90% of your life is hate watching because your team only plays every so often. But there's a lot of teams that you don't fucking like, that you watch their games and actively root against them because you love the sport and you enjoy the entertainment value of the sport spectacle. But you spend all your time, watching that game, specifically wanting to see that team fail. Shut up. But that is like a completely different instance than like, I'm going to pay I'm going to spunk out $15 for this movie ticket and get my popcorn and my soda for another 15 that I'm only going to fill maybe once if I'm lucky, even though it's the, refillable, to go watch this movie that I hate specifically so I can go talk about how much I hate it. I think that's where there's the disconnect, because if there's a movie that I do not want to watch, I'm not going to spend the money to go hate watch it. I will watch Sunday Night Football when it's the Raiders and the Broncos, specifically because I hate both those teams, but it's also Sunday Night Football. And that's just kind of, I like to watch the sport, even though I kind of want the stadium to collapse and both teams to somehow lose. But that's kind of where we're at as a society. You say we live in the stupidest timeline. We do, because hate watching has become completely different. But now you get to the point where people don't even hate watch. They hate click. They have somebody else watch it. They click on it. They take all their points, and that's now their points. Equally, people click on something they love, and then they use all those points. And we are just a hyperpolarized society, whether it's politics, entertainment, wrestling. I mean, go onto a wrestling forum these days, and there you go. So it's just where we're at as society. It's like, hey, I have to consume everything, but nothing at the same time. It's weird.
I'm glad you brought up the point about how people just regurgitate other people's opinions, because that always is like, when I see like 25 of the same comments, I go, I wonder who said this and why everyone's repeating it, because it takes away from the discourse. Like, in my personal life, I don't really want to listen to someone regurgitate an opinion. I want to hear their opinion, no matter how I feel about it, good or bad. That's the interesting point, is to have a disagreement. But if like you're listening to Joe Blow on the internet and you're just like, oh, Joe Blow said this. All right, well, what do you say? Well, what Joe Blow says, why? Because he validates me. I don't give a shit. Like,
that's part of it, though,
thing.
the validation thing. It's the validation thing. We keep saying it, and people have said it also. The internet is one of the greatest things because you can get every bit of information you ever need within seconds. But it's also the stupidest thing because social media has given everybody a voice and allowed everybody's opinion to matter to themselves and the echo chambers that they sometimes create for themselves. And it's all about, I need to validate my point. Why do you think people post stuff on social media? I mean, it used to be, hey, look at this very funny meme I found before memes were a thing, or check out this cool cat pit, video or something like that, or things like that. People would post that stuff just to, do whatever. But like even now today, working with the Utes, the big thing that the Utes love is posting shit on Instagram and seeing how many likes they get. It's the validation factor. Not only does everybody have their own opinion that is supposedly just as important as everybody else's, whatever, you could argue that either way, but it's all about the validation angle too. Everybody has to have their opinion and they have to have it validated. So you watch one news channel or read one news site because you want your opinions or feelings about something to be validated, or you watch the other one and that's really all it is it boils down to is everybody just wants to feel important or like they matter, when at the end of the day, we live on this tiny little blue speck in the middle of this giant universe. We don't matter. Our opinions don't matter. We just do this for entertainment's sake and for funsies. And these people come and watch us and they like to hear what we have to say. And, if a fight breaks out like it did tonight, people love that shit.
Listen, man, part of it is the admittance of that very thing, right? Like, we have a podcast because of that very thing. I can't lie to you and say that I wouldn't be happier if 10K people listen to the show, right? Like, we're in a listen. I think overall, movies, podcasts, TV shows, music, we are in an era of everyone can technically do this, and we all want to be validated. And specifically with shit like Fantastic Four, right? Like, even with if you bring it out macro level, Marvel, Lucasfilm, Disney films in general, right? Like everyone wants to be a part of the process. And we're just figuring that shit out, man. Like what it's gonna be 10 years from now. I can't help but think it's gonna be different. It's gonna be a different view of how people watch and review and watch the reviews of those movies. But yeah, man, entertainment's in a weird spot right now. We're kind of at the precipice of a weird era of entertainment, and we're all a part of it. What's her name from Snow White losing her Maybelline contract? We're
$20 million or $12 million.
$12 million, son. Like that's a real thing. To get to sports, fucking, Kendo and I have been laughing our asses off since the end of the season. But the Aaron Rodgers fiasco, I can't.
And it got even better today,
which is funnier today. He and I were texting about it today. Like this, it's all a symptom of those who are up here. We know they can hear what we're saying. We're all a part of this process now. And it's a different era. We're in a different era of entertainment.
But I agree that we're in a different era of entertainment, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily a good era of entertainment. Because there's also a large contingent of people that are nostalgic, but there is a contingent of people who are nostalgic for an era they never knew, like in a weird way that we've never had before. And I do think, absolutely it's out there. We have not really had as many new ideas for the last 10 years as we did the 10 years before that. And it's really catching up because what you're catching is a lot of malaise from the audience. Yes, there are people that regurgitate certain points, or there are people that are just, angry to be angry, but there is a general malaise out there. And it could be because of what's going on in the world, post-pandemic, blah, blah, blah. But like outside of Minecraft, what's inspiring people to react to a movie or really get involved with a movement? Like it's not even just an age thing, because there are tons of movies that I'm willing to go see and would love to, go out to the movie all the time and see. But a lot of times I leave the theater and I'm just like, it was fine. It was okay. It was whatever.
Well, to that point, I think you're watching the rejection of that. We're halfway through April and the Oscars have come through. And listen, the Oscars were struggling already, right? Like that's a part of the conversation in terms of what you do when you are struggling. But to your specific point, people who are not into a movie moment, this year with the 2024, especially the second half of 2024, they were trying so hard for that. A complete unknown, what's her name? The movie about the trans woman that's Latin.
Nora.
Nora. You had the shit that happened. Nora was the other one with what's her name? That one, Zoe Saldana. That one too. You had everything was trying to capitalize on a moment. The Grammys were like that. The what's her name from Tennessee or no from Missouri. That you have. Thank you, Shalarone. You have where we have seen as consumers a specific effort in monopolizing the movement of a new project, and you're seeing the rejection of that. I think especially with the Katy Perry shit, that's an example of it. Like, hey, all these people are going to space, and they're all but two of them are all rich and famous. You have to answer your question is that's the answer in terms of no, we haven't seen something like a Avengers thing because audiences are rejecting them. They're rejecting a disingenuous movement starter across everything in entertainment, and it's just no one is having it right now. It has to be good. It has to be good, and most of all, it has to be cool. You know, Triple H is going to bitch about it until April 22nd because he has to. He has to talk about. He has to try and bring up the internet because otherwise, no one's buying tickets to WrestleMania. You know,
well, no one's buying tickets to WrestleMania for many reasons. Like
well,
us.
That's a reason, right? You and I aren't going. It's still a thing for us, but we're not spending money in Vegas because it's not, you know, the hype doesn't match the price. And it's just, you know, I think that's what we're coming across with is the fan, you know, shit like, you know, we'll see how Fantastic Four does in terms of trying to bring up nostalgia as an enticer. But, you know, we're not seeing, you know, there was a Bob Dylan movie that no one saw.
Good. Bob Dylan sucks.
That's true. No, he's better at writing songs than other people do.
Listen, we just went over this whole thing with the two of you and not liking things because of the internet.
Dion, you can only like everything if it's movies. Music? I am not going to sit and listen to Bob Dylan ever.
Bob Dylan, his most famous song, I would say, is probably All Along the Watchtower. And it's only famous because Hendrix did it. His Mr. Tambourine Man song was made better by the Byrds.
Of all the dumb shit you've said, that's the funniest.
Okay, well, but it's accurate. What great Bob Dylan song is there that everybody's like, oh my God, Bob Dylan. Everyone's like, fuck, dude. You know, Hendrix
not in this
is
generation.
Awesome.
All the other ones that end up in movie fucking soundtracks.
Oh, the fucking from Watchmen.
The fact that you're going to say that and then times are changing wasn't part of what you said. I might have laughed in your face if we were in person.
Look, Dion, I get it. I get it. You spent a lot of time smoking pot in the 60s protesting the Vietnam War. That's why you love Bob Dylan. Oh, wait, you didn't do that.
Wait, could you have understood him if you were back in the Vietnam War?
Because it's too far back. I was watching.
I know you two motherfuckers didn't because you didn't see the movie. So,
Dion, I'm not going to spend money to watch a movie on Bob Dylan, a musician I absolutely fucking hate everything he's ever sang.
Money on anything in the movies anyway, based on what you're saying. So you ain't proving me wrong, motherfucker.
Buddy, I spend more on movies per year than you do.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, because I pay $30 a month for my Regal Pass every month on top of my discs.
You're gonna lose that argument no matter what, son.
No, I'm not. I have the receipts. I just
did
my taxes.
Is severely overrated.
How many did you buy for Minecraft?
Wait, what?
Exactly.
No, I couldn't hear what you said. You cut out.
Pause proved it, dog.
Dion, you cut out. You cut out. Repeat what you said. You cut out.
I ain't cut out.
I can't say what you said if I couldn't hear you.
Hey, you brought it up. Your boy spent a lot on movies. Just admit it. Just say it.
I didn't hear what you said when it first cut out.
Say it.
You're a bitch.
That's why I love you, right there. That specific moment is why I love you.
Let me break up this lovely episode of Fight Night here on World Class Bullshitters. The other day, Jeff talked about how everybody's nostalgic for things. This, 8-9 years ago, everybody was nostalgic for the 80s. Maybe even less than that because of the Stranger Things. This generation, currently, the youths that we deal with now are nostalgic for every era for some reason. The other day, a kid came up to me and he's like, Mr. H, yeah, you were born in the 1900s, weren't you? And I immediately wanted to vomit. Yeah. And I said, yes, why? And they're like, did you have a flip phone? I'm like, yeah, 20 years ago. And he was like, oh my God, that's so cool. I'm like, it really wasn't, but okay. It was it was just the device we had at the time. And for some reason, the flip phone I had was like a small one, and it was great because it fit in your pocket and wasn't all that bulky. And I carry this, big damn device around, but I can also watch shit on it. And then he's like, so like you were alive for Y2K, right? I'm like, yes. And he goes, I saw a thing about that. Like, do people really think the world was going to blow up? I'm like, most people didn't. There was just a few people that did. They're like, so what happened? I'm like, clearly the world didn't blow up. We're here, so we clearly didn't blow up. He's like, oh my God, it must have been so cool back then. I'm like, go away. Why are we talking about this? You can't relate to anything I could tell you about the 1999. You have no idea. You were born in like 2012. You don't even remember what it was like when people thought the world was going to end then. So we can't have a conversation about anything. So go back to your seat, work on your damn science homework, please.
That's a crazy benchmark for sure. That's fucking.
You know what you should tell them next time they talk about you were born in the 1900s? You go, first off, you're talking about the centuries wrong. Because when you refer to that, it's like when you say the 2000s, nowadays, it's been changed to, the 2000s mean 2000 to 2010. And then they go the whatever in the teens. You just be like, listen, motherfucker, it's the 1990s. It's like, these people are too, I get it, they're young, but like, we weren't that retarded. Like, because it wasn't difficult to figure out like when an era changed or this and that, because the world is different. And I guess it's really not like, hey, these kids are that much dumber. They're not taught the same stuff. The most basic stuff isn't just there anymore. Computers and technologies replace those sorts of things, and they consume all this other shit, which is fine. But like, it's going to be interesting in 10 years to see where the world is with this era or this generation of kids.
They also think that everybody born before them or the adults know everything and experienced everything in history too. Because U.S. history at our school, I don't know when it starts, but I think right now they're up to about World War II-ish. And somebody said, and one of the kids said something to me, he's like, so like what happened between World War I and World War II, right? I'm like, yes. So I was like helping them with like their causes of World War I type thing, because they're like, so this caused World War I. Yeah. Well, what caused World War II? I was like, technically World War I caused World War II, if you want to really get down to it. And then I gave them a bunch of shit. And they're like, so how do you know that? Were you alive back then? I'm like, how the hell old do you think I am? I mean, I am definitely a very young man in his 30s. I was not alive that long ago. But even if not, I'm like, look, dude, my grandparents were born between the wars. It's like they're not even, my grandparents aren't even, they're like, they would be 90 this year. So it's like they weren't even alive for a lot of that shit. So what are you talking about? Like, they were like 6 when the war broke down. I'm like, how? But they think like everybody that's an adult like they could talk to you about things in a historical fashion, like they were fucking there. And it's like, look, I can tell you about I can tell you about 9/11. I can maybe tell you about the Clinton administration to a degree, like those years, because I was a kid, but I kind of remember it. I don't remember the Berlin Wall falling. I was 6, so I can't really give you a whole lot of details on that. I can tell you what Legos I was playing with, and I can tell you all about the Ninja Turtles. But
just
what?
Start lying to him and tell him you're 200 years old. You're an immortal. Your name's Connor McLeod.
Walter Jameson.
Walter Jameson. There we go. Just lie, Dion. Next time D2 asks you something about like back in the day, like, yeah, man, I'm 96 years old. I know everything. I was there. I hung out with Jesus. Just lie to these kids. Tell them all this shit. See how much they believe. Like, you really think Jesus? Yeah, he owes me $12.
D2's of that age where they don't care. They just don't care about it. Like, so D2's 11, Devin is 12, about to turn 13 this year. They just don't care. D2's thing is, we're learning about, like, now they're starting to learn about civil rights in 5th grade. And he's just like, like, this doesn't make any sense. And we're like, like, there are people that were racist. He was like, were they racist against you? And we're like, listen, I mean, passage of time, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, but like, do you know Rosa Parks personally? And we're like, well, no. And he's like,
no, I didn't have the pleasure of sitting on the bus with her.
Right. Like, they whooped my ass to the back. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on a second, Dion. You and I went to that Rosa Parks Memorial down in Texas. We got pictures of us with her on that bench. Next time D2 brings it up, I'm going to look for that picture. Like, yeah, I knew her. Here we are together.
But he thinks she's like my aunt or something. You know what I mean? Like the younger kids now they just don't care. Like they're like, yo, I want to watch YouTube. Like, is it a 10-minute YouTube video? Okay, no, then it's not important. It's a weird, compared to what Kendo was saying, it's a weird relationship that just that generation apart.
Yeah, like his history itself is like a bizarre concept. Like they think everything happened, but they also think none of it happened. But they also like to downplay a lot of it. But they also like to it's extremely
it's a weird thing.
Weird. It's hard to explain, really, because a couple months ago when they were in the antebellum South talking about the Civil War in our school, and I had to catch the strays from the kids being extremely casually racist towards each other during that time when they were learning about the Civil War and all that good stuff. It was kind of difficult to explain it to them because, like, I don't know, they like have a very warped sense of like history, and like I eventually had to sit them down and say, look, there's a lot of things that happened in the past that were not nice. And a lot of things that happened to a lot of different people that were not nice. But the important thing is we learn not to do that shit again. And you're unaware of this, but you're actually living in the best time possible for people actually being nicer to each other overall than not nice to each other overall. So appreciate where you're living, because you didn't have to deal with any of the shit that came before. And you probably think that, oh, people are mean, people are this, people are that. But comparatively speaking to just even 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 60, 100, shit's a lot better than it used to be.
Oh, dude. Absolutely. And I don't know how, like, I saw this Facebook post where they're like, and it was a funny one. It was a picture of Roman Reigns, and there was like somebody giving me life advice when their birth year starts in 20. And I kind of chuckled, and then all these people were trying to make excuses for that stuff. And I understand that not everybody that's 25 and younger is like stupid. I'm not, that's silly. But I don't know how the technology that makes life easier doesn't make people smarter. Maybe it's because they just have always had access to it, and that's like all they know. But
that's like the conundrum we're living with right now, big dog. I mean, that's really the problem we're living with.
But isn't that ridiculous? So it's like there is no reason to be ignorant. Like people argue. You can literally go to your phone, press the little microphone icon, and say, "What year did Abraham Lincoln die?" And you get the answer instantly. Or
1865. Actually, almost.
I knew that.
It was almost to the day 2 days ago. R.I.P. Abe.
Yeah, we hardly knew ye. Greatest contribution to America, that beard or the top hat?
I mean, we could say the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah, beard or top hat.
Seen through the Civil War, but,
it was the small, cute mommy love. That's what changed America. Even the short mommies got some bommies. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think even Mary Todd Lincoln was like, never mind, I'm not going to talk about first ladies banging.
Dion has seen pictures of Mary Todd Lincoln, and he gets a little randy for that, which, I mean, this lady's been dead.
It's the ankle.
100. She showed a little too much ankle in that one picture. And even though she's been dead for 150 years, Dion would pound those bones into dust.
No, she's been dead, but listen, me and Mary Todd, we're good peeps.
I think you'd have a better shot at Abe.
Hey, hold on a second. I got it. Me and Mary Todd is the name of the second Terminegro comic book. Terminegro goes back in time after Mary Todd Lincoln is a widow, and he picks up the slack where Honest Abe,
That's like the fourth one.
No.
Fourth.
Like no, even better. So we can hit even more checklists and check marks. We run with the theory that Lincoln was gay, because that is a working theory, and Lincoln is more than willing to let the Terminegro pound it to Mary Todd because it makes her happy, and he can, keep up appearances.
Fuck John Wilkes. Wait, we can't get in trouble because everyone's dead. We should have it. We should rewrite it where he and John Wilkes Booth were secretly, together. So the team Terminator.
And he assassinated. And he was assassinated due to a lover's quarrel.
Calm down. Listen,
Tarantino should write this movie.
Damn. Listen, you guys are getting a little heated up in the Jimmy Jams. Cool.
We're just having fun here, Dion. Why do you hate, distorting history so much?
Because he can't understand what they'd say.
But you acting like y'all getting real. What's the chick from HLN? the not Nancy Drew, the chick that was a lawyer and she was obsessed with Casey Anthony.
Oh, I almost said Robin Meade. Robin Meade was hot on HLN. You're talking about Nancy Grace.
No, Robin Meade was the
Nancy
other one.
Grace.
Nancy Grace. Y'all getting on Nancy Grace where we say
still never apologize for Duke Frosty, by the way.
It goes Nancy. You know what I'm saying? Nancy Grace. Y'all getting all like, what if he's covered up history? Yeah, slave pops. Like, wow, cool it.
What did you say, slave pots?
Because she always came up with a nickname.
What was that like?
Are those are those delicious
like
next to the Jello pudding pops?
Popsicle? Yeah,
well,
slave pops.
If you send in a request to the new World Class Bullshitters email, we'll send you an official slave pop, and it'll be a commemorative, delicious treat that you can take home, and it'll be fantastic. It'll be
why do I want that
black ass film franchise.
Why do I want that to be a T-shirt? It's like a Jello pudding pop shirt, but it's Bill Cosby or a caricature of Bill Cosby next to a thing that says slave pops.
Should we use LeVar Burton?
Yes, get LeVar Burton.
It's LeVar Burton. It's like the thing with the root, but it's
the root. They didn't cut off LeVar Burton's foot. They cut off John Amos's foot.
Oh, my bad. I haven't seen Roots. I don't know.
I have seen Roots a lot. It's actually a pretty good show.
It's a great show.
It's very good.
I've never had access to it unless it's on a streaming service that I've had for years and just never looked it up.
I'm sure it is. It's very good, dude. The ensemble cast itself is worth the money. I mean, you get O.J. Simpson in it. You get LeVar Burton, a young LeVar Burton. You get John Amos. You get Vic Morrow, head removal. You get, who else is there? Oh, shit, Ben Vereen's Chicken George.
I like Ben Vereen.
Shit, I can't think of any of them, but there's so many damn people in that. It's very good. It's a hell of a story. Whether or not it's completely accurate or not, Alex Haley's taken a couple of swipes in history over the last couple decades about whether or not he fabricated a bunch of it. But
they remade Roots.
They did remake Roots too, but the original it's still good. I highly recommend it. I sat down and watched it one day like 20-something years ago in college because I'm like, I got this library pass and it allows me to rent movies. I've never seen Roots. Let's watch this. And I was like, holy shit, this is fucking good. And I've probably watched it about 3 or 4 times since then. It's a very fucking good miniseries.
Well, one day
gets a little cornball at the end though, like when the white family comes to live with them on the plantation and like they all move off together to start their own like little town or something like that. I'm like, I don't know how that would have worked in 1870, but fuck it, I'm here for it. The rest of this was good.
Yeah, way to give up the ending, dog. Spoilers, Sen.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Jeff. I spoiled it. The slaves get freed.
Oh no, I would have never saw that one coming. Now Empire Strikes Back.
Hey, man. Listen, man. My next door neighbor, buddy, he loved Roots and he loved my mama. And we were best friends to the end of time after I moved in. And he loved the ending of Roots. So you better cool it, man, before you get the Ramajamas. Cool it.
The what? That. I was just setting you up for a goddamn joke. Dion, I can't wait till tomorrow at this time because you and I will be not sober for many hours at this point.
I cannot express you how excited I am to see you.
Jeff, I want to give you another spoiler. LeVar Burton gets captured and sold into slavery. That's the whole story, like the kickoff point for Roots. I didn't want to ruin it for you, but you should just
now, hold on. I actually knew the story because he escapes. He gets kidnapped by aliens, sent to the next decade or century or whatever, and becomes a robot, right?
I mean, that is true. He
becomes a science officer for a spaceship.
Kunta Kinte doesn't actually die. He gets taken away because the South is very he morphs into John Amos.
That's appropriate.
He gets kidnapped by aliens because the South is very big on UFO abduction, and he gets taken away where they turn him back into LeVar Burton, but then he becomes Geordie LaForge, and they send him to the future. It's very weird.
Well, I am all about progress and
then he gets turned back into John Amos.
Right.
and they move him to good times. It's weird. It's very cyclical. It happens, and then he leaves again. It's just
And then he becomes the
That-
manager of a fast food restaurant in the 80s in Queens, New York.
That's true. Yeah.
The Big
it's
Mick
true.
instead of the Big Mac.
Yep.
Now that
They're not from McDonald's, are they?
no, Lou, you're red stew, motherfucker. I think I have that button somewhere on here. I'll find it one of these days. I love coming to America, folks. Welcome to your African podcast. We started
What
on
a great
Fantastic
fucking
Four.
show. It's been Fantastic Four, Fight Night, and now Antebellum talk with World Class Bullshit.
Antebellum.
This is the Antebellum Hour with World Class Bullshitters. How are you? Spoiler
We should
alert,
do Antebellum Hour.
Roots ends when the slaves get freed. You might not have known that, but it happens. The South did lose.
Oh, shit.
I haven't been to the South in a while. I should change that. Tomorrow you'll be in the South, Dion.
Yep. Well, technically, I'll be in the North. I'll be in the South next year. But I might venture into the South to go.
Well,
pick
technically,
Yo.
where you are staying, sir, is beneath the Mason-Dixon line. So,
Well, no. Okay. That Kentucky was a border state.
This is true. This is true.
It's like Missouri. Like they had like the South government held a seat for them. Said,
Hell,
hey,
a battle there.
y'all want to come down here, you can be part of the team. And the other side said, no, they're still with us. And then meanwhile, inside the state, everybody was punching each other in the face because that's just how it worked.
isn't that still how it works in St. Louis?
No, usually they're just shooting each other. There's no more punching each other. Well, I mean, they were shooting each other back then too. You know, this is complicated for this hour of the evening. We can't really. Missouri and the Civil War is a very, very difficult, topic.
River.
My home is over Jordan.
See that sign that says rib tips? Fuck that, man. You don't want to go in there.
Dion, I'm a little ashamed of myself that you made the Clark Griswold joke before I did.
Well,
that's my favorite. That's my favorite fictional dad. I love those movies.
That's why I'm world class, baby.
I'd love to be world class with my lagging camera. Watch this, okay? I'm going to shake my hand in front of my face, turn off the camera, stop talking. There you go. See? That is terribly delayed.
I'm just
It's
disappointed.
close.
I'm disappointed because in that movie they show them going over the bridge into St. Louis, and then they go to the next scene where the guys are pulling all the shit off their cars, and people are like, "Oh, that's East St. Louis." No, it's not. That is in Illinois. Please give us our credit. That was actually probably North St. Louis.
Here's a trivia question for you, Kendo. What TV show uses that clip of them driving over the highway?
Fuck, that's Married with Children.
There you go. There's your trivia hour, folks, here on World Class Bullshitters. I've been your host, Jeff, and you learned something about Roots and Clark Griswold.
Which takes place in Chicago, where the Griswolds left to go to I want to say Barney Land, but that's not Wally World.
Wally World, man.
It would be funny if they remade that movie and they talk about this epic road trip to Wally World and they literally just go to Walmart. I would watch that movie. That would be fun to me.
I don't know about that one.
It's better than the remake.
What if they drive? Yeah. What if they're driving like 4 hours to the Wally World because they live someplace isolated and it ends up being a Walmart? Like, oh shit, they must live in like Western, Nevada or like Northern California. They're going to Wally World, which is Disneyland, and it turns out they're just going to Walmart and they live in like North Dakota or some shit.
I want to make an anticlimax of a movie
during the early 2000s, and you should both be ashamed of yourselves.
Well, I mean, I usually am, but not for those reasons.
I just don't have shame. There are certain words I don't know the meaning of.
Good. You passed the test.
Good. Let's check in with the audience because we have more stuff to talk about. So our friends Overkill and Shrubbles, thank you very much. Enrique Vasquez says, Jeff, you should be in Craig's Nerd Duel. I think you would do pretty good. It's Jeopardy, but like with categories of pop culture and video games. Yeah, I will. Here's what you do, folks. You tell him that you want me there. Just spam the chat. Hey, Jeff, have Jeff from WCBS on. I'll show up. Craig's cool. I talked to him the other day. So yeah, Enrique, you guys have that power, though. It would be fun, and I probably know quite a bit. And here is your number 63.
Hey, Stu, your rent's due, motherfucker, and don't.
We trying that phone down the stairs, shit.
And here's one more.
Oh my God! Unbelievable! Oh my God!
He's easily in my top 5. I love Kurt Angle.
Did you see he was on Rogan talking about drugs last year? I watched that clip today. Kurt Angle's story is awesome though. His comebacks, like, mad respect for that dude.
Hey, dudes, argue. You can make the argument that he's the greatest of all time, and he's been making the round since retirement, and everybody still loves him. You know, hey, Kurt Angle's a man. He's not, and his daughter's into wrestling now, so he's been all into that. So, hey, man, I love me some Kurt Angle.
It's funny. I love him now more than I did when I was watching wrestling back in the day, because
I can see it.
he was kind of annoying. You know, he would come out with his, when he first started coming out talking about abstinence and shit, I'm like, what is this guy? He was like a youth pastor almost for a hot minute, like the very beginning of 2000. But I mean, he's great for all those reasons.
Oh yeah.
TLJ Screwjob, thank you very much. He says, to Jeff's point about Reed being an outsider in this, as soon as he spoke in the first trailer, I was like, why does he sound like a doormat / cuck? If Sue sleeps with other superheroes, I don't think I'll watch this movie.
Listen, I would say you need to stop watching so much YouTube if you got cucked from that already.
Nobody got cucked from this trailer.
God damn it. Who got cucked watching? Dude, I guarantee somebody like ran to. Never mind. I'm not even going to get into the scenario where they ran to their computer to watch the show and some dude snuck in and banged his wife real quick. I mean,
That's just
That's
like the premise to a comic book.
That.
That's what I got from it too.
Watches.
You know, I'll just say this. If a guy loses his wife because of a Fantastic Four trailer, he kind of deserves it. Like, he didn't have the foundation for a good relationship.
If your wife is getting a quickie from some dude over the 2 minutes that you're watching a movie trailer, you got bigger problems than whether or not you like that movie trailer.
Yeah. You might need to get a divorce. Call the law offices of Pon Lahonky and he'll take care of you. I'm glad you remember those fucking signs. You'll hear that. We talk about that quite a bit still, Dion. But DLJ Screwjob, thank you. Dion, I think we need to make our Dukes Brothers bet a little more extreme.
Ooh.
So obviously the dollar's fine, you know, it's cool, but I think we should have it like some sort of extreme challenge, not a super humming challenge.
Oh,
but like
a real dick bruiser
challenge.
bet. No.
Okay,
you got to go to like if it's going to be a dick bruiser bet, what you got to do is you got to go to like, you know, like the pole hopping. Remember that was a fucking thing. You got to try to hop a pole at like Walmart or something without racking yourself. There we go.
Okay, that will work. But we have to have mouth guards. I'll come to Michigan and do it.
The only problem is Jeff's so tall he can fucking hurdle that shit.
That's true.
That's true.
I'm a little more agile these days too, so I'll just be able to like not trip over it, barely make it. There's a reason I'm not in the Olympics, folks. I'm too old.
Damn.
Yeah. 2 days from retirement. Dion, the audience requests this, not me. I'm not mad at you.
Who are you? What are you doing here, and where are my horses?
I mean, I don't know what Dion deserved to get punished for, but okay.
Hey, Shrubbles08 sends it in.
Sure.
John Thomas says, "Hail, bullshitters. Have you seen the Tron trailer? As much as I despise Disney, I'm interested. It looked cool. How did it get past Iger?" I saw pictures from, I guess, the trailer. You know, I loved Tron Legacy quite a bit. Back in 2010, that was kind of our movie. We all got pumped to go watch it. My only thing is, I don't really dig Jared Leto. So it's like, yeah, Tron's cool.
Unless he's taking an axe to the face, I'm not big on Jared Leto.
Yeah. Because he can't get a table with Dorcia.
Yeah,
stupid
fucking bastard.
But John, I probably will go see Tron Ares because, you know, it's Tron. If I've seen Captain America, why wouldn't I go see Tron? It's all a tax write-off. But, you know, if the soundtrack for Tron Ares is even a tenth as good as the Tron Legacy soundtrack, probably going to give it a listen too, because that Tron Legacy soundtrack was the shit. Oh,
It was awesome.
yeah, dude. Dude, what was that song? Derezzed. Dustin and I used to listen to that shit on repeat when we all lived in the when we lived in the apartment and he would come visit. That was one of our go-to songs.
Dude, he coveted the Tron Legacy soundtrack on CD. Yeah, man.
Do you think he got anyone pregnant to that soundtrack?
Definitely the second kid.
One day I got in, and you're pregnant. I don't know though how it got past Bob Iger. Maybe they just want to make money. Maybe they had a really good pitch. Hopefully it's good. We'll find out. We'll review it in, was it come out December? We'll do a whole episode where we get stuck in a computer and we have to fight our way out. Dion got killed by a processor. Stop all the downloading. So how trash are we going to get and watch all those?
Very.
Yeah. John Thomas says, spend money. I won't hate watch anything for I won't hate watch anything for free. In the words of Tawari Clark, I have better things to do.
Clearly, you are not a fan of the NFL, and you have to spend at least 5, maybe 6 nights a year hate watching the Dallas Cowboys.
They're all hashtag all in.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
This year's our year.
I like to believe that's at least your teams get closer to the Super Bowl than mine.
Hey, yours made a Super Bowl.
That's true. Second in my life.
Listen. This is part of that whole thing I'm saying. I am 100%. Don't get me wrong. I have bought in. I am pro Pat Mahomes outside of the fucking Lions, but I am excited for the Bengals. It's trust me. You guys made the Super Bowl. The doom and gloom. Yeah, your owner sucks, but he ain't got no choice because he wanted money for that new stadium. They got to do something, and they're apparently going to sign Henriksen here pretty soon.
Yeah, but they also tied up a lot of money in 3 players, and last time I checked, those 3 players don't play defense.
But we're talking about a team that had a huge cap and doesn't spend money historically. So
that's also true.
I'm excited. Listen, the Bengals, Brown, he has no choice. Joe Cool ain't gonna fucking be quiet unless they spend money. And Cincinnati's the place to be right now in the AFC, son.
So
if you're not
disappointed as Jeff was in watching the Bengals lose the Super Bowl, and as disappointed as I was watching the Chiefs get the shit beat out of them in this last Super Bowl, Dion would have killed just to have that feeling of knowing my team is in the Super Bowl. So perspectives.
Dion, at least though, you have this to always fall back on. One of our favorite movie characters is always representing the Detroit Lions in one of his best movies. So, maybe the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl. Maybe the Chiefs have won multiple Super Bowls, but Axel Foley is forever. And, I there's a reason I have a fucking Detroit Lions jacket in my coat or my closet, And it ain't because I love the team. Sorry.
Damn right. Damn, I'll take it.
John has a history question for Coach Kendo. Where did the crazy Churchill... history question for Coach Kendo. Where did the crazy Churchill was the villain that caused WW2 come from?
I have no idea. This is the first time ever hearing this because Churchill had nothing to do with the cause of World War II. He wasn't even the Prime Minister of Britain when World War II broke out. That was fucking Neville Chamberlain. He's the one that appeased Hitler. Like, we will have peace. Like a year later, no, you don't. You've got a fucking world war on your hands. So I have no idea where the hell Churchill was the villain that caused World War II. I don't know. He was a minister of something when they had the fucking attack on Gallipoli completely go tits up, and I think he either resigned from that or was like shamed out of office or something like that. And like his story of becoming prime minister was like a big comeback story. Had a really cool shirt of Churchill with a fucking bowler hat and a cigar holding a fucking Thompson submachine gun. That's back home. I kind of want to find that now because that's a badass looking shirt. But I have no idea. I've never heard Churchill being the villain that caused World War II.
Do you think
caused by World War I?
Do you think it could be one of those situations where people, because we talk about how the internet good or bad, how it operates. You think it's one of those things where just like somebody gave a contrarian opinion and then a bunch of people listened to it and then they started just like believing in it and they kept pushing for it. And now it's like,
I mean, it could be that because I know there's a lot of revisionist history about a lot of politicians, like Lincoln, for instance, has been a massive victim of like recent.
he's gay and his lover John Wilkes Booth shot him in the head.
There's that,
but other than that, robotic lover.
But I know there's a whole lot of like new wave. Oh, Lincoln was this, autocrat, and this. I mean, yes, he did some shit that would be considered, totalitarian and dictatorial and things like that. But he was also trying to preserve the Union, which seemed like an important goal, and byproduct of freeing the slaves, which seemed to be an important goal. But yeah, I can't say that he did everything right, but the main goal was to win the Civil War and keep America whole and free a bunch of people, because you can't go around saying, oh yeah, all men are created equal. Well, all of them except those over there. Sure. No, you can't do that. That's not how it works. But I know like there's been a lot of that, and most of it's rooted. It's just like a new wave, lost cause, but wrapped in something different. Roosevelt's getting hit with that too, although that's kind of deserved. People try to shit on JFK
Roosevelt?
for a while. Franklin, Teddy. Most people still like Teddy Roosevelt. Like Theodore Roosevelt's still considered like a major badass, mainly because he got shot, but his like speech stopped the bullet somehow, and he still gave the speech for like 2 hours. So everybody's been shitting on like all the historical people. Like it started with Jefferson because we had to like rag on him because he was banging one of his slaves. It's like, while that wasn't good, he also did a lot of good things, and he was also not a fan of the practice that he practiced, but at the same time, he still did. We cannot look at shit that happened even 20, 30 years ago with the lenses of 2025. It's just, shit doesn't work that way.
Thank you. That's the number one problem people have these days. It's like
when people are like, they were different times. Yeah, well, they were fucking different. That's the thing. Like, I mean,
well, I think what you're talking about is there has to be a middle ground, right? Like we were saying that 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. So while I get that, it has to be a middle ground of what happened compared to how we see things now. Because listen, I get it. But I love killing them softly. He said it best, man. Like, yeah, he said a lot of things, and people went out and died for those things while he stayed at home and fucked his slave girl. So those conversations are important, but also, hey, man, you can't keep saying, oh, we can't keep looking at through the 2025 lens, 2026, 2027, 2028.
We're not going to make it to 2028, Dion. The world's going to blow up.
Shit. True. I watched The Matrix. I'm getting uploaded early.
Buddy, you're about to watch a fifth Matrix.
Hey, 2023 and me got hacked, so
2023 and me. That's a comic book right there.
They filed for bankruptcy. I own some of their stock.
As well as bankruptcy.
I own some of their stock.
Yep. So, hey man, welcome to the future.
I don't like the idea of uploading my DNA to like some website and then like, oh, you're related to this.
I don't know, dude. Look, I did Ancestry. It wasn't because I wanted to see who I was related to. It verified a bunch of shit my grandparents did with the genealogy, but it's kind of cool to see the breakdown of like where my genetic markers came from, even though I kind of already knew that. But it verified it. I'm like, hey, cool. My grandparents, their genealogy work was apparently pretty fucking accurate. And if I really want to, I can tell everybody how much of a Native American I am, apparently. Like,
Are you as Greek as John Stamos?
I have no Greek. So if I pull up my ancestry, there is no Greek. So sorry.
Dion, you're like 80% Greek, right? You're just from the south Grecian islands.
Right.
Yeah, the ones that get a lot more sunlight, right?
Yeah, the part that won all the wars. That's my people.
Oh, okay.
Lots of sun, lots of winning.
I do like
the Carthaginian Greeks.
Yeah.
He's from the northern part of Carthage.
The Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah. Dion, The Life Aquatic with Dion Stavros Stamos. There we go.
Yeah, he's technically Corsican.
Yeah, I'm Macedonian deep down. You know what I'm saying?
No, you and I should be the Corsican brothers. We'll remake that old Cheech and Chong movie. It'll just be really, it'll be as bad as the original.
Not one of their
Look,
not
they
one
can't
of
all
their
be
finer
winners.
moments. No, they
No.
can't.
Did you know they got a new one coming out on 420?
No.
Cheech and
No, but I'll
Chong's
watch
last
it.
movie is being shown at 420 on 420 here with a special
I would
introduction
expect
by
it to
them.
be their last movie because both those guys are pushing probably about fucking 80 years old at this point.
They gotta be, yeah, easily.
They're still funny though. Their old movies still work.
Dude, I've
Especially
got
Up in
almost
Smoke.
Up in Smoke is the best because it's their first one. I've got them all on DVD. Now that you mentioned it, when I get back to Camp Kendo in about 2 months, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch those Cheech and Chong movies. I'm going to start with Up in Smoke and go all the way through. I think the last one I have of their series would be Still Smoking. I don't think I have anything after that.
Is that before or after Nice Dreams?
After.
Well, Dion, we have a super chat from our buddy Phil. Jeff, Dion, cigars, booze, fire pit tomorrow night? I mean,
Yeah.
Dion's here.
Is it pig's pussy pork?
Yeah.
That means yes,
Yeah.
Phil.
Yes.
We'll I'm not gonna give Dion's travel arrangements on air because no. Also, too, I've been fulfilling the
He's
Indie
on
Road
American
and I see-
Airlines flight 433.
Yeah, get him. Let's meet him at the airport. I'm gonna have a sign that says "ass" on it, and you just know it's for
Yeah.
you.
Flying direct to Cincinnati.
All 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Kendo, I've flown from Lansing to Cincinnati. And yeah, I know, buddy. It's so exciting. It's like you get to go up on the airplane, and just as you reach maximum altitude, you're already on your descent. It's beautiful.
Go green! That's what he was
Probably
saying.
like probably about the time I flew from St. Louis to Chicago. It was like a 35-minute flight or some shit like that. And I think it was like 50 minutes gate to gate, but it was like literally take off. The seatbelt light comes off. The captain's like, "Oh, we're at cruising altitude. We'll be here for a few minutes, and then we'll be making our approach into Chicago." And they're like 5 minutes, like, "Folks, we got final, clearance to descend into Chicago." I'm like, "Shit, we just got up here."
I didn't even get to watch one episode of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives with Guy Fieri.
Yeah, it's like I haven't even gone pee yet and thought about how small these bathrooms are and how can anybody fuck in here.
Did you see that post on social media? The guy and the girl tried to join the Mile High Club and they got caught, and then they got a video of the flight attendant be like, "You guys are disgusting."
Yep.
No, but I had to have my mother tell me about how small airline bathrooms were when she flew here a month or so ago. She goes, "Oh my God, I had to go to the bathroom on the flight." I'm like, "Well, it was like a 3.5-hour flight. I would assume so." Because Doofus booked their tickets, right? And he flew them from St. Louis to Chicago and then back to Las Vegas. And I'm like, "You flew a couple hundred miles that way to turn around and fly back that way? That's why the flight was longer than direct shot." But okay. Small.
Well-
I could barely move around in there. I'm like, "Yeah, they're tiny." She goes, "I don't understand how people have sex in there." I'm like, "Oh God, Mom, we're not having this conversation."
Moms say the wackiest shit. Like there's that old Kids Say the Darndest Things TV show. We should just come up with a Moms Say the Wackiest Shit, Kendo, and we'll just be like, "Oh, okay."
Well, the funny thing is, we were driving home and she kept seeing signs for dispensaries, and she's like, "They have those out here?" I'm like, "It's fucking Las Vegas. You can't throw a rock without hitting 3."
That's true. There's that one by this. What is it? Behind the Wind by the strip club. It's,
Dude, they're
if we were in Las
there's
Vegas
like-
this weekend, Dion, that'd be our first stop. That and then the pepper mill.
there's there's like 50. There's like 50 in and around the strip. So it's like what? I see you. Yes, very good. You're throwing the magnet darts. Good job, buddy.
I will win the video
Like-
game tax cut.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, Vegas. Everything's here.
And In-N-Out Burger.
That's my lunch tomorrow.
Dion, we won't get In-N-Out Burger, but we could get Skyline Chili just to rub it in Kendo's face. I don't want to eat Skyline. I'm just saying.
Hillary
mean,
wants
well,
that
that-
really bad, so.
Well,
fine.
Skyline is delicious, and I do love a good chili dog. I would not give up In-N-Out Burger for the chili dogs. Sorry.
So what you're
You're-
telling me, Dion, is when you get here, you're going to go check into the place. Then we're going to go to Skyline and go to Phil's and not remember the night? Okay.
I like the way you talk, sir.
I'll send you guys pictures of my In-N-Out Burger.
We'll send you pictures of us hanging out together.
Damn right we will.
Hey,
Fly
your
in,
prop magic doesn't work on me.
WrestleMania rough.
Dion, you have to do one thing when you're here. You have to impersonate the Big Show. Woo! WrestleMania! Woo! Every time you can, just raise your arms up.
I'll get a one-arm singlet just for the occasion.
Yeah, you can pull it off.
I think so. I got the chocolate bod for it.
No one will mistake you for Andre the Giant. That's my job.
Damn.
Enrique Vasquez says, what if you can travel back in time within the last 100 years, but you see the world in the popular media of the time, i.e. VHS, DVD, black and white quality? Would you do it? Ooh, that's interesting.
My concern would be able to understand whether or not I could tell what people are saying, regardless of
You
the
should be
quality
worried.
of the DVD.
You should be worried because you a fool.
I think Dion will just beat your ass when you go back in time to like 1902. He's like, fuck you, man. Like, Dion, watch out.
Like, the
We have
fuck
to
did
be on
I
our best
do?
behavior.
The green lineage. It's a very, very volatile lineage.
Yeah, but it's a classy lineage.
Yeah, I wouldn't say volatile.
I know
They talk a
the
lot of
family. They're
Yeah,
fun.
I know that family. They talk a lot of shit. You know.
That's true. Uncle Pepe can back it up, though.
Yeah. You ain't lying.
Neither is he. Enrique, I would do that, though. Just to time travel to come back and tell people what I saw. But if I could do that time travel, I would still try to take my phone with me so I could record it and show, like, I wouldn't even try to show people that I time travel. It would just be cool to have this weird footage. I'd make one of those YouTube channels. It's like, you know, relics of the past. And it would just be my time travel footage. And if I could do it the way I wanted to, I would take shit back with me to, like, not alter the course of history, but like plant, you know, they got that lady that people swear is carrying a cell phone in like the 1900s, the early 1900s. Like, I would do shit like that. It's like, I would take this can of liquid death and like leave it at the White House or something, you know, and like just be like, you know, fuck with history that way. That would be my, if I'm not going back in time to make a bunch of money, I'm going back in time to fuck with history.
I mean, while that would be fun and everything, I would love to time travel with you guys. The only problem is certain time periods wouldn't be very kind. And while
Who
you
says
guys
we got to
have
stick
that,
to America?
that's a good point.
Also, too, we can go to the future. Why wouldn't we go? Like, with time travel, we would go to the future. I wouldn't go back. I've seen it. Or, you know, we can read about it. We would go to, like, 20... Let's go to 60... Let's go to 2090, where we're all dead for sure, and see what the world would be like, you know.
Or we go to 2090, years after we're dead, get all the information about the shit that happens while we're alive, and then bring that information back and then bet on that shit. So we can become rich and powerful, married to your mother.
Yeah, I agree. Well, not my mother, but yeah. Enrique, thank you for that. Now you're going to have us talking about time travel all night long. John Thomas says, Kendo, alternate history. As revenge for the British clandestine support of the South, Grant sells surplus trapdoor Springfield rifles to the Zulus.
It doesn't help the Zulus win, but you end up getting a couple of, fucking Custer's Last Stands, but in Africa. You know, trapdoor rifles or Sharps repeaters would help the Zulus quite a bit, but at the end of the day, they're fighting against the might of the British Empire. What? Yes, I see. You're doing a very good job of dropping the darts, but Daddy's talking about shit that never happened that could have happened. And, so the Zulus get a couple of, Custer's Last Stands against the British, but at the end of the day, the British Empire will crush them because they were the biggest thing going at the time.
Now, guys, thank you, John. Thank you, Bill, with the super chat for Dion. Dion, remember when Shane McMahon tore his quad at WrestleMania 39?
Hillary brought this shit up earlier today because I was watching a video about the worst WrestleManias. And that being said, listen, y'all need to know about what happened at WrestleMania 39. Shane McMahon came back. And that motherfucker was in his 50s. He tried to do a match, and it was with The Miz and Snoop Dogg. And he tried to do a leapfrog at 50, whatever the fuck. And he tore his motherfucking quad. And it's
Badly.
the funniest thing that I've seen in my life to this very day.
There went the
Oh,
money.
my God.
Oh, Phil, that always makes me laugh. And yesterday, oh wait, we have breaking news, guys. Star Wars Starfighter, a new Star Wars movie from Ryan Gosling and Sean Levy, will release in 2027. Yay. Hold on, let's see. Is there anything else worthwhile to talk about? Because I watched this trailer and I didn't realize that it was for a movie. It's just the word Starfighter. So we have May 28th, 2027. Star Wars will be back. Guys, let's play a game. Let me put up an image so I can turn this into a short. Is this shit gonna hit? Dion, you go first.
I will say, listen, it's slated for 2027.
Yeah.
It could. We're at a phase where things have to be good to make money. Ryan Gosling and what's his name, as optimistic as I am, I'm gonna say no. Star Wars hasn't had that breakout hit to separate itself from the downtrodden aspects of 2015. They haven't had that movie yet. And as much as I'm willing to give this 2027 project the benefit of the doubt, you got to have that breakaway, baby. You got to have that hit. You got to have that thing that makes a decent amount of money that people want to pay and go see. And Star Wars just, no matter what everybody else on Reddit will say, Star Wars hasn't done it yet. The Acolyte wasn't that good.
Kendo, any opinion?
Look, we've been dealing with Star Wars being a loser for a while. It's going to take a lot to get it back going. I really don't know if this is going to be the ticket that gets the going back up the way it used to be. Definite wait and see approach, but not exactly overly optimistic about that. I don't think it's going to work out so well because nothing's worked with the exception of The Mandalorian for 2 seasons, and that's been 10 years of just overly and over and over again failing. So not a lot of high hopes.
I would like these movies to kick ass and blow me away because I still love the first Star Wars movie, but I don't even think this is actually going to get made. I know they say the production starts in the fall, but how many? I think it's like 15 or more movies have been slated to be worked on or released or deep in production.
You mean like Rian Johnson's trilogy?
Oh, that chuckle fuck. Love that guy's work. To go back 2 years to Star Wars Celebration England, right? Was that where they were in 2023? Oh, we're announcing episode 9, 10, and 11, but they're not really part of the trilogy. One's Rey's, one's James Mangold's past, and the other one is something else, the Mandalorian movie. That was 2 years ago. Where the fuck are those? Not happening.
There's a dude that finished Game of Thrones that was supposed to have their own trilogy after episode 9. That obviously got canceled. That was supposed to come out at Comic-Con of, what was that, 2018? That shit, we'll believe it when we fucking see it.
Or Bob Iger talking out of both sides of his mouth. What was it, a couple years ago when he came out and he's like, we're gonna dial back Star Wars. We're gonna put as much Star Wars content, and then they put out like 3 TV shows that year or some shit like that.
Yeah, and we got Andor season 2 dropping, which, man, Andor season 1 was so good it put me to sleep. It was the best cure for insomnia ever, and I'm really grateful for that because, living out west, Dion, was always a nightmare. So I needed something to put me to sleep real quick and easy. It was great.
Hey, the way the internet is putting itself, Andor was the 3rd or 4th best piece of Star Wars content.
The test results proved that was a lie.
Listen, the internet is doubling down on Andor season 2. I can't fucking wait.
I can't wait for it to suck because I just really want people on the internet to be like, but the first season was so good, and what happened? Guys, everyone is entitled to have your own opinion. In real life, I wouldn't care what people like. Hey, more power to you. Live and let live. But I'll tell you this here. I thought that show was boring. Not since The Mandalorian season 1 have I seen anything new from Star Wars that I went, all right, cool. Like, a couple episodes in season 2 were good. The one with Bill Burr in the train. And then you get that bullshit with Luke Skywalker. And, well, we all saw it. But at least he's back as a CGI puppet, and Mark Hamill's cool, right? Everybody loves that guy. No, I really don't believe this is going to get made. I've seen too many of these come out to never happen. So there you go, Dion. Let's make another Dukes Brothers bet. Does this actually get made? I gotta go no.
I'll say yeah. Star Wars is trying to buy time for the next big foray. So I'll say that they'll try to make this to buy themselves more time.
All right. Well, you know what? We will find out in 2 years when it does or does not come out. Before we get into our next segment, we have a request to summon the spirit world.
It's fucking mean.
Mr. Cleo, more of a loser. The Lions, Star Wars, or Marvel?
That's mean.
Y'all gotta do this earlier in the night. How many now? Bombacla. The one thing that we have to know about the future is the cards don't lie. And we see here all the loser Lions, Star Wars and Marvel. Listen here, the cards, they never lie, darling. And you asking that TLJ Scooja, you're a Libra, aren't you, darling? I'm on a mercy. Listen here, what I think we have to do here is the cards don't lie. And also the cards don't lie, thing don't lie. Hold on one second. Yeah. Oh, shit, I gotta charge my thing. And with the cards don't lie, see what the cards say here. Oh, it's oh shit. One more card. Oh shit, the card we have here. One more card to hand out the trilogy. Oh, the card here. The Negro Lion of Prosperance, which means Super Bowl champion. I'm in a mercy.
These have been the wise words of Mr. Cleo. Only found here on World Class Bullshitters. Now, guys, I wanted to share this because we have our listener of the week back. His name is Daniel, and Daniel made us this image. He fed our logo into ChatGPT, and this is what ChatGPT thinks we look like. So up here with ice cream cones, what the fuck is this one? It looks like we're in the Fifth Element up here. You see this, Dion?
I do. That one's pretty good. That one's actually pretty funny. I wish my hair worked like that. But also, Nick and Kendall and I, the four of us actually looked very similar.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's a lot of these where everybody looks the same. Like, in this one, and driving in the car, Kendo looks like me, you look like me, Nick looks like Nick, kind of, but you and I are also conjoined twins, and we share one arm.
Right. We love ice cream together in an interior arm.
Apparently, Kevin Spacey's part of World Class Bullshitters over here.
I also like that my barrel treatment, I just put my fucking barrel here at Kendall's head in this other one while we defend the universe.
I don't think we're defending anything because I'm shooting myself. There's a laser going into my chin.
I did not realize that till just now. That's hilarious.
Thanks, AI. Also, and this one is us as superheroes. This is very much a callback to Stealing Solo. Kendo's got the green screen suit on.
No, that's nice what I guess that Nick is supposed to be a dollar store Martian Manhunter, which I'm all about.
No, Nick is Cockeye instead of Hawkeye. Hey, that's what happens when your internet crashes out. We make fun of you, Nick.
Damn.
Then there's the beautiful original logo drawn by me. We have us as Tropic Thunder, where we're all white. That's all right.
I'm about to say, I'm not in that one.
I guess I'm the dude on the left, which if my beard came in that thick, I'd be happy.
Maybe that's the joke, like how Robert Downey Jr. is a white guy that played a black guy. All the black guys play white guys in that Tropic Thunder.
I'm assuming I'm supposed to be the one in the mask. This is a blast.
Well, no. It always because this was fed into Grok. It's me, Dion, Nick, and Kendo in that order. Like, because it's just using this middle picture as a reference, so we're always in that order.
So I look like Channing Tatum?
Yeah, charming Taint Man. Good for you, man.
Thanks.
People love him. Here we are is in a painterly style. Nick and everyone but me looks like kind of like the right people.
I just wish I could get my goatee to work like that.
Dion looks a little more haggard in that one because he's got a scar right here, like some battle wounds.
Well, the
Nick
next one,
like a Viking.
Well, we should do a comic about Nick as a Viking.
I'd watch it. I'll check it out.
Here we are in the middle. We're all smiling. Nobody looks. I look like Tobey Maguire.
You look like the literal 1990s white clone version of yourself. Fair hair. It's like brownish. Like that's pretty funny. Me, I mean, that's pretty good.
It's like Chasing Amy, Kendo. We all wants to be white. That's what the AI thinks.
Isn't that true?
What is a Nubian?
Best part of the movie.
There we are is in Jungle Fatigues. I kind of look like me. This is the one that I think looks the most like me.
Dion looks like a Filipino.
Yeah. Shit. Well, I think
like
you're
Jet
biased
Tula.
with your recent life event.
Yeah.
I look like I'm in a Seth Rogen movie in that one.
You're telling me you don't look like a Pacific Islander or Southeast Asian in that?
I look more like I'm from Ohio and my mom is a school teacher and white.
So Ohio, Indonesia?
You just stuck on Southeast Pacific or South Pacific.
You're from the south side of the South Pacific. Is that what you're telling me?
South side of the South Pacific.
Yeah.
I'm from the continent
Southside
of
Manila,
Philippines.
baby. We don't play that shit around here.
That's what we should do. Aside from Briarville, we should buy a part of the Philippines and rename it Compton.
I bet you it's cheap.
It is. It actually really is, because she, over there in the next room, has bought multiple investment properties there, and it did not cost a whole lot.
Maybe we could funnel it through her, and we could buy a Biff's Pleasure Palace of the Philippines.
I can tell you
gambling.
that in maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, there's a chance we could all go there to our own Biff's Pleasure Palace on the beach somewhere, because that's the next phase.
Yeah, I like your phases much better than other phases.
That's why I always just tell her, you do whatever you want to do. Just let me drink beer and act like an asshole on Thursday nights and Sundays during football season, and I will go along with whatever plan you've got.
I'm glad WCBS is built into your life plans.
That's pretty much it. It's just like, hey, let me take care of this business here, and whatever.
You got me the rest. Here we are as spacemen, so we're gonna rock out. We won our MTV. Somehow Nick and Kendo became one person, then they got cloned.
Yeah,
I'm the smallest one. That's the funniest part to me.
I like how you're using a hose to fill up a bottle.
Yeah, I'm badass like that.
Dion looks like Nick in that one.
Shit.
He does.
Look,
This is kind of. I'm sorry, but this is kind of racist. They're lightening Dion up in every one of them.
Now you know how me and John Boyega feel.
Wait, you only got $60 in your pocket too?
They didn't want it to be too black. Too black is too scary. Can you dig it?
I mean, Shaft is a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Sure, I guess.
And then finally, here we are riding horses, and this guy in the background is Dion.
So now that makes more sense, but who the hell's the fourth guy?
I'm in the background. Listen, I'm the legs of the show. I'm in the background.
So there you go.
You're the
Dion So now Dion definitely knows how John Boyega feels, because they made him really small on that movie poster.
Exactly. What the fuck?
Is that the Western we made when it goes to China? It's like, no, we'll put Dion really small in the back.
Those bastards.
That's what happens when you use AI based in China. It just wipes out the black people, Dion.
We know
all their 20-year-olds, all want to come to the dark side. They're just pissed at it. They never let it go. Damn it, China. That's why
Everyone's got a
Taiwan's a
sweet
country.
Thank you, TLJ Screwjob. Also, Xavier to God says, "What are you guys doing for 420 Easter Sunday? It will be my birthday. Also, you guys would you want to live to be 100 years or older?" Well, we're going to be hanging out for WrestleMania Sunday. We're going to get up and go to brunch both weekend days. So, Dion, be prepared to. Saturday, my mom's taking us somewhere, but Sunday we're going to go to a brew pub for breakfast with an all-you-can-eat breakfast bar. And they literally have 100 different beers on tap.
Dude, I can't wait.
You gonna be a real man and get a mimosa flight?
Listen, I have tired an establishment out of mimosas. I have been in places where they refuse to give me more mimosas. And I've been in establishments where I've exhausted the mimosa time limit. I'm all about it, especially because I'm bringing my girl. You know what I'm saying? You better show me the best of the city, baby.
Sure. We'll make it happen. Xavier to God, to answer your question, would I want to live to be 100? If I'm in good shape, sure. Like if I'm 100 years old and my kids are, still alive and kicking and everything, cool. It would suck to outlive a wife, but, it happens to most people or husbands. So, yeah. I'd say yes. I'll take to live to be 100 years old. Who knows?
If I still have my faculties and I know what's going on and I'm not dealing with losing my mind or anything like that in a way that doesn't make me eligible to be president of the United States. And I don't have to shit my pants. I can actually go to the bathroom. So I'm functional and I have my wits about me. Sure. I'll take 100. I think it'd be cool.
Dion, you living to be 100 or nah?
Hell no. Y'all can have it.
When do you want to tap out?
I'm cashing out. I'm cashing out 81, 82, 83. 100 means that my kid's going to be 80 something. Fuck all that. My nephew going to be 80 something. Y'all can have 100. I'm going off into where Robin Williams said, a great adventure. Y'all can live to it be 100. Fuck all that noise.
Yeah, but Robin Williams also didn't have all his faculties. That's why he, took himself out of the equation because he knew
exactly.
Yeah, but this
I
is.
I want to be 100. Y'all crazy. Human beings are crazy. I want to be here to tell them 100. Listen, hell no. Hell no.
All right. So, Jeff, what do you want to do at Dion's funeral? You want to make it sappy and sweet, or you just want to have a kegger?
A kegger after his casket is drawn by a horse-powered carriage.
Yes.
And we'll,
yes.
And we'll play the Star Wars Episode 1 music that plays.
Portion of the
Hillary, we know you're in the background and you're hearing all this stuff. We have just assumed power of Dion's final arrangement.
We'll pay for it. That's the thing. You save the money. We'll pay for his funeral.
Nope, I'm getting my body's getting give over to science. Hillary will be in her 80s.
Nobody in science wants your body.
Me and Katy Perry are going up to the first orbit of Mars.
Yeah, there it is.
Fireworks.
Perfect idea. Perfect idea. We have his corpse. It's a horse-drawn carriage to the rocket ship, and we'll send him up like a firework. There you go. He wants to be like Katy Perry. We'll watch his color burst.
You two in the will only be having to be present. You won't have any say over the remains. Clearly,
make sure you give all that power to Nick because Nick will back us up.
Yes,
we'll turn it into a carnival with funnel cakes and shit.
Nah.
Yes,
I mean that part I like.
Dude, your send-off would be awesome if you let the three of us fuckers handle this shit. It would be a party. It would be like a carnival atmosphere.
I can't risk the whole horse-drawn carriage shit. Y'all fuck.
I wouldn't bring a horse-drawn carriage. We would have all the fucking well-wishers and sad people be mannequins.
Yeah.
Dion, I'm gonna make a deal with you right now. Don't listen to Jeff. All right, I will make sure there's no horses, there's no mannequins. We will turn this into a fucking carnival type of experience. There will be fucking chicks in bikinis shaking asses everywhere. There'll be fun music, funnel cakes, fucking cold beer on tap, open bar, dude. Whatever you want, it'll be there. cool ass music. We'll even throw in the occasional ratchet ass song that like we like to play on the touch tune to fuck with the straights. It'll be great. We will have all this fun, and then at the end of the day, we'll just like drop you in the hole, and we'll be like, all right, fuck them, and then we'll go off to the next one, which will probably be next.
I like it.
We're gonna play taps.
Yeah, we'll get you taps. I'll learn it on trumpet just for you.
I like it. That's how I want to go at.
Yeah. And
All
the best
right,
part is we'll dress you like a prize fighter, full robe and everything, and be like, yeah, it's Dion. He's got his fucking shorts on,
Going off
his
to the next
boxing gloves.
beyond.
Well, it'll be
So
cool.
we
Be a
we got you
good
for
party.
like what, 48 more years?
We can't promise we won't do any like weekends at Bernie's shit where we just like pour shots on you. Be like,
And I'm
he'd
fine with
appreciate
that. I'm
this.
fine with that. Yep.
I think what we should do is we should borrow Dion to go into the high occupancy lanes on the highway. One last ride with Dion. We'll drive him from Lansing to Detroit. Where do you want your final resting place to be, Dion? Like Toys R Us in Canada? That's where I want to be buried.
Give me in the Thunderdome. Give me the Thunderdome.
You'll finally be with Tina Turner.
Right,
Yeah,
Tina Turner.
that's
I'm
real
sure I
place.
wouldn't leave.
Hey, we need you to embalm him really, really good. We're about to commit a few felonies. Not the weird kind, just the still hanging out with our buddy kind.
Yeah, we're not ready to go because Kendo and I are going to be stuck living till 100. So, we'll have a while to go, and we can't really do the show without you, Dion. So,
right, that's y'all's problem. That ain't my problem. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
I'll be honest, if I'm doing this show at 100 years old, I failed at life. I don't even know what I would say in 64 years. Not a lot. I'd be crotchety as shit. I'm already tired.
Yeah.
So,
welcome to World Class Bullshitters. This is episode number 2043. Somehow we're still doing this, and somehow they're still making Star Wars movies. Let's talk about the newest one, starring Rachel Zegler Jr.
Somebody procreated with that chick. Perfect.
Now she's self-partnered and just got a donor.
Who was the self-partnered actress?
Oh, that was Emma Watson.
Oh, good for her. I hope she can make herself very happy.
She can. You put on the right video, some wine, some cheese.
Oh, she can get that done all the time. Never mind. But, I mean, like, emotionally happy, Dion. Not
right, exactly.
Let's have a 3-bean salad type of thing.
I meant that too.
Mm-hmm. Is that how you smoke them beans? How you flick them beans?
Smoke them beans. We're going back to next year. Wrestlemania New Orleans 3. Woo!
Yeah. Oh, Dion, if you want on Saturday, what we could do for a detour, even though we probably won't? We could go meet the Red Ranger, Jason. He's going to be in town for a cheap autograph signing. We could go meet him at the comic book store.
We can talk about how many people you fucking out of their tax returns? Whatever you got.
That was my favorite. I love Jason. That was my favorite Ranger. He left the show, so did I.
He's not Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy is my favorite.
He's
Billy
still
was
alive.
my first favorite.
He is, but the green. Listen, don't get me wrong. I love the Red Ranger. Red Ranger. You need a Red Ranger for the Rangers. I get it, but the fucking original Green Ranger. Come on, dog. He played a flute and he whooped people's asses. Come on.
You're not wrong. I mean, he played a flute that sounded like a synthesizer playing a flute with no lips.
He broke all the barriers that we care about. Cody Rhodes ain't got shit on the Green Ranger.
Goddamn right. There you go. I had to say more
the
sincerity.
Green Ranger never got a black wife and had a biracial child to destroy racism once and for all.
But he got with the red and the pink and the whatever Ranger. He was all about love across the spectrum because
good. So he should have been the Rainbow Ranger thing.
Well, that
Hold on a second. You went to play the fucking Dragon Zord music and you did the Zelda small item catch.
Don't worry about my pop culture references, sir. The point
I love it.
The point stands.
Dude, I was watching Predator the other day on the bike And remember when we watched Predator that one time and my text went off as he ripped the spine from Billy?
Billy brought that shit up a couple weeks ago. Whatever we were talking about, she's like, hey, remember when fucking Billy's skull got ripped out and Jeff's text went off? I was like, I'll never forget it.
I was pretty proud of that moment. Just putting that out there.
It's a good time.
Xavier to God has a hard-hitting question for us. What song do you want played at your funerals?
No. What one did you say about you imagine when I walk into a room? The Slide the Family Stone song. Yeah, if you want me to stay, Slide the Family Stone. That's what I want.
Oh, I thought you were going to pick Living in America.
That's another top one. But
that's how we bring you back from the dead. I know you'll pop up.
America. Shit, you need me? Let's go. Captain America's really black. What?
I feel good. Yeah,
I feel good.
Dion, if we ever play in a beer pong tournament and I'm your partner, our tag team song is Living in America.
When? We live in the Midwest. There's going to be a time where you and I find ourselves in the beer pong tournament.
I want to be those two older guys that somehow end up at a college party and we beat everybody at beer pong like we did when we were in college.
I talk shit to my brother-in-law, because we had, my father-in-law works for Nintendo, and we were up at the lake house, and beer pong came up. I was like, yo, my boy and I have never lost. And they're like, no, you don't believe you. You don't believe. I was like, listen, my boy and I have shut down parties. That's how good we are together. So it might happen. It might happen. I'm telling you, you might have to dust off the old laser eyeballs because I've been shit talking my in-laws, man.
Hey, anything to help you talk more shit to your family, I'm there. All right, brothers-in-laws deserve shit talk to them.
That's right.
To answer your question, Xavier to God, Axel F on repeat for like 6 hours.
I'd listen to all. I love Axel F.
You'll be dead before me. Remember, you said you wanted to die at 82. I'm living to 100.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I'll listen to it because I'm going out earlier.
What about you, Kendo?
I'm gonna take either the original Graveyard Symphony or Power Slave by Iron Maiden.
Good choices. At least you didn't pick like Symphony, or if Joel died, I'd play One Night in Bangkok at his funeral. That's his favorite song. Bangkok, Oriental setting. The city don't know what the city is getting. Guys, before we slow things down, one thing we have to address is the elephant in the room, Wrestlemania. Now, I'm not going to ask you guys to do a whole recap of the card and everything like that, but what do you think is going to be a standout match for WrestleMania this year, Kendo?
Oh, that's tough. I will say don't sleep on the three-way between Rollins, Punk, and Reigns. I think that's got a chance to be a lot of fun and a lot of intrigue involving Paul Heyman.
Dion, same question to you. What match do you think is going to, steal the show, surprise you?
Backing off of Kendo's answer, I think the Bianca Rhea Ripley EO match is going to jump off. I'm really excited about that match. Even though the card's not great, I think that match is going to steal the show.
The triple threat seems interesting, the Rollins one, but I guess the match I'm not like excited for any match, but I'm ready to be proven wrong. So I hope Randy Orton's match, whatever the hell it is going to be, that's what I hope steals the show. Probably. Okay. I mean, if it's him, it's him. I don't really care. I just like Randy Orton. But if it's Nick Aldis, that'd be kind of cool for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I'd really like to see is I'd like to see them change Randy Orton's match to a tag team and then have two guys that Randy Orton's going to face, and then our old pal Joe Hendry pops up, and he is Randy Orton's tag team. partner.
Well, you did hear about how he was supposed to have a little rivalry with The Miz going into WrestleMania weekend. And then I guess someone at TNA said no. So I would have bought that 100%. I would have killed to have it be a tag match and Joe Hendry's in it. I think people would have went nuts. You would have seen a true wrestling pop if Joe Hendry was at WrestleMania. Which I will say, to your very point, WWE's missing out. But apparently they're about to buy TNA, so who the fuck knows?
No, wave your hands from side to side and say, I believe in Joe Hendry. So prestigious. No, the show's gonna be 9 hours, like with all the pre-show and that shit. I think it's 9 hours each night. Phil, if you're listening, we're not gonna watch that pre-show.
No motherfucking way. That's crazy.
I can't do that.
No, that's the fact that it's 2 nights and it's gonna be like 4 hours a night is already too much for me. I know I told you off air the Blues' first playoff game is Saturday at like 3:00. So I'll be joining first night of WrestleMania late because I would rather watch the hockey game and because it's the playoffs. And if I miss something, I miss something. That's just kind of how it goes. But okay. So we made it 2 nights so we could get more shit in, but that doesn't mean we have to make it longer. I kind of liked where they were going with some of their pay-per-views. They were like 2.5 hours long. That's like perfect because that's how it used to be. It's like 2.5 to 3 hours is like the sweet spot for a pay-per-view. I know the other company likes to run their pay-per-views for like 6.5 hours in one sitting, which WrestleMania was like that. After a while, they didn't tell anybody they were going to make their pay-per-view or their WrestleMania extra long. They just did it. But yeah, it's like fucking too long. I mean, especially the pregame. I know this is like their Super Bowl, but there's a big difference between getting hyped up for the Super Bowl and getting hyped up for WrestleMania because, like football games aren't predetermined outcomes type situation, even though people want to say they are, especially involving the Chiefs. But that's not, that's too fucking much. Just have the shit come on at 6:00 and be over at 9.
I don't like the concept of it being that long too, because we have suffered, Dion and I, in person for those extra long WrestleManias. We have been to the longest ones on record many years in a row. It's like, hey, this one's the longest. Hold my beer. WrestleMania 32 is going to top it. 3, it's going to be longer. Like, it's a little much. I get it that you have so many people on your roster and you're trying to get people on the card and all that stuff. But if we could just get rid of the fucking video packages and all the recaps, because your average person that's watching WrestleMania knows the stories. Nobody goes into Star Wars blind. Like, that's not a thing. WrestleMania blind. I'm reading the chat. Nobody goes into WrestleMania blind and not know anything. So I think it's I don't know, kind of dumb and pointless to have so much shit like that. I want matches and then matches, not, fucking, hey, let me tell you how great this card is. Because the WWE, they like to prop themselves up. And I hate when they do that because it comes off as hollow. Like, if it was really as hot as they said it was or is, it would sell out in America. People would be like, I'll mortgage my house differently to go to WrestleMania. People would have done that shit for 40, not 41. So, anything else you guys want to say about WrestleMania? Like, what do you think the I don't know. Who do you think wins, Cody Rhodes or John Cena?
I think John Cena wins. I think that's what's going to be so beautiful about it. He's a bad guy now, even though they should have used him way more. I think they should have changed his look. But that being said, now this is the first time since I was a kid where I'm like, yo, I want to see John Cena win. And I think him winning, being the bad guy, but if he does the Super Cena thing, I'll fucking pop for it, dude. Like, that is the most wrestling thing ever. And on top of that, an entire generation seeing their hero become the bad guy. It's just, I can't express how important that is. I want John, for the first time since I was in high school, I want John Cena to win.
Kendo?
I can't say that I want John Cena to win because I have a hard time putting myself in that frame of mind to say I support John Cena. It's Same thing with, Hendricks Racing in NASCAR. I have a hard time supporting them. What? Thank you.
He
We're
likes
talking about
John
John Cena. Yeah, he's got Fruity Pebbles and shit. But
What the
I
hell's
think
a Dolph Ziggler?
it's time to get the belt off Cody. It's fine if Cena wins it, I guess, because he's going to hold the record now, even though Charlotte's going to break that record in 6 months. But yeah, Cena's going to win. It's fine. I can't say that I'm rooting for Cena, but I'm also not rooting for Cody. I don't really care what they do. But if Cena wins, they have to go somewhere with it. It can't just be like, oh, I'm John Cena. I'm a bad guy. You all hate me, and I just won the title, and I broke Ric Flair's record. Doesn't that piss you off? Like, nobody fucking cares at this point. And
That's the beauty.
Ric Flair's not exactly as popular as he used to be. And, it's like you're breaking the record of somebody that nobody likes anymore and nobody cares about. And it's kind of a WWE created record. But I want it to become something else. It needs to turn into something else. Like Orton winning the title off of him. So now Orton's up to like close to Cena's record. And it could be like, oh, Cena's like, I got to get it back because I got to extend my record so Orton can't catch it. And Orton's like, I got to hold this off because you got to do something with it. It can't just be like Cena winning for the lulz and to be able to come out and be like, oh, fuck you guys. I won the belt. Ha, ha, ha. I'm the new record holder. It's got to be something more than that. Cena's winning, but it's got to be something more than that.
Well, we'll find out in 2 nights. Well, 3 nights, actually, because that's the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania. I always wish the wrestlers the best. My complaints are never with them. It's usually the writing. Sorry, Triple H, man. Like last year, you were the king of kings in terms of booking. This year, you have dropped the ball. And WrestleMania should never be this late in April. It should always be early April because there were 4 weeks of build that were just inert wrestling. Nothing really happened. Especially the Jey Uso storyline. You had, how many weeks did he and Gunther just say dumb shit? And then finally, Gunther beat up Jimmy. And it was finally, interesting. Yeah, it was. And like you said, dude, those promos are garbage. Like, this is who they're going with. You and I were making fun of the one where he's like, hey, I called my mom. You know what she said? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He is garbage on the mic. But it's an emotional promo.
He about to win the championship. He about to win the belt.
That's the thing is he has to, because how many times can he lose to Gunther? But when he won the Rumble, I was like, okay, cool. They're doing something different. They're doing something not predictable. And then it's just, we did something not predictable. Isn't it awesome? Sure. What are you going to do with it? Fumble. It's like,
agreed.
Main event Jey Uso is totally turned into mid-card Jey Uso in just a matter of a couple of months. And it's just like, yeah, maybe that's why it was a bad idea for him to win the Rumble.
Yeah, but hey, we're gonna get Braun Breaker beating him for the belt, so I'm okay with it.
That I could live with.
I like Braun Breaker. I really wish LA Knight would get a better, run, because after he lost the belt to Shinsuke, he kind of just froze. And now
he got the belt back, so I think we're gonna get some fun stuff. I mean, I wish that he wins a world championship out of it. I think we've got between WrestleMania until SummerSlam. I think we got some crazy shit can happen. So, and I'm with you, man. I'm an LA Knight fan. I think he's gonna do some crazy shit this year. He has to. He's gonna drop the belt to fucking Fatu. He's got to do something. They got to have something for him, and he's too popular. And we just believe in the guy too much. He's gonna do something. I believe in LA Knight.
I do too. So I really wish Jimmy Uso would lose, though, just to deflate the people. It's like yeet, 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 and he lost the belt.
He's gonna win. I get what you're saying.
I agree. He's gonna win.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but the fan favorite, quote unquote, would ease the pain of Cena winning. Which, hey, I'm glad because didn't they move World Heavyweight to night 2 as the co-main?
No, Jey Uso and Gunther opened night 1.
Really?
Yep.
Damn. Old Vince McMahon booking right there, boys.
That's what I was telling people on the internet. It's like, yo,
Yep.
Triple H might be in charge, but some of this is old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is there anything else you want to say about WrestleMania before we go?
Free AO. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's happening 10 minutes down the road, and I couldn't care less.
Damn.
Yeah, Dion, I don't miss not being there.
I miss it because of the...
You miss everything that doesn't involve actually being at WrestleMania.
Listen, man. One of my biggest goals, and to your guys' very point, one of the things I wanted so much as a kid was to see WrestleMania in Vegas. It was one of my things, and it's just funny this year. This is the year that it's in Vegas, where it's like, yo, the price don't match the fucking the output. I'd rather, look, I'll watch it, but I watch it with my people. But I'm just not spending.
You guys could have just flown here to Vegas. We could have drove past Allegiant Stadium and we could just watched it at my house and be like, this is better. Trust me.
Yeah, we could have, but your wife be getting mad at you and shit. I ain't trying to put you in trouble. You could have been more aggressive.
Look, number one, I'm always in trouble. She's always mad at me for fucking something. So this would be nothing normal and new. And it'd be like, look, Dion. Be like, Dion, Jeff, you've met them before. They're not going to cause you. They're harmless. They're some of the good ones. They're a credit. So let's calm down for a second, and we're just going to watch WrestleMania, and they're going to play with the kids. You've got a night off because we're going to take care of everything.
I spoil the fuck out of your kid.
I'll tell your kid that you spoiled him to make him jealous.
Listen.
He would
right
go
now.
The
plan is for us. Obviously, we got to figure stuff out. But Hillary wants to go during the summer for sure because we didn't go for Vegas for WrestleMania. So I'm about to show up and I'm gonna fucking spoil that kid. I can't wait.
Just let me know what days you're going to be here. As long as they match up with when I'm not going to be at home, everything will be fine. Like, we got some guests coming. You don't have to do anything unless you want to make them some Asian food, which they'll be happy.
Right?
with.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They love mixed children. They made one. They know how mixed children work. It's perfect.
Together with Cody Rhodes, we've defeated racism.
You'll say black, and he'll be like, Uncle Dion, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I'll be like, look, this
yeah, okay.
He'll act a little skittish at first.
What are we talking about?
He acts a little skittish at first because that's how he is with strangers. But as soon as you give him something, he's your best friend.
Exactly. And I will spoil
I'll bring him Thomas the Tank Engine.
He will definitely be your best friend.
I'll give him a little Thomas hat and one of those. I gotta find it if you could get him. It was a vintage Thomas pillow. I had one as a kid. You punched it and it would go ooh ooh, and it would make like a chugging sound, like it was going down a train track. If
you give him anything Thomas or Paw Patrol, he will follow you to the end of the earth.
Well, I'm going to live to be 100, so he'll be, 70, roughly?
Shit, what is he? He's going to be 3 in 12 days. So
he'll be 73. Go. There we go.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'd like to live to be 100, because I waited until I was almost 40 years old to have a child, and I've got him. So if I live to be 100, I'll see him be 60. As long as I go in the ground before he is, mission accomplished.
Don't ever feel bad. My dad was almost 50 when he had me, so you're doing all right.
Yeah. So yeah, his world revolves around Thomas and fucking Paw Patrol now. Dude, for his birthday, he's getting the Thomas box set of the books, the Reverend Aubrey or whatever, the original Thomas 26 books. He's getting that. He's getting the Paw Patrol vehicles he doesn't have. Marshall and Zuma are in the garage. He doesn't know they're there. And he's going to get the Paw Patrol little tower thing for them to race down to go save fucking Mayor Goodway or whatever the hell they do. And, he's going to be a happy little he's gonna be happy for a little while until he starts acting up, which is fucking normal because he's 3.
We were all 3 once.
Long time ago.
Yes, and Nick is still 3.
Shit.
So, folks, we're gonna go because Dion's got a long day ahead of him of driving. I have been taking care of business here on the channel. So check out our videos. This week we did one on the mysterious theft of the Todd McFarlane toy truck. That fans got an email that said the truck has been stolen, therefore your pre-orders are canceled. But every pre-order got magically canceled. So it's kind of a weird story. Check it out. You make up your own minds. Also, too, we put out a video last weekend about the state of collecting and how I believe we are on our way out. The golden age has come and gone. And the golden age for me is quality collectibles that look good and, you pay what you get for. Or you get what you pay for, excuse me. So I don't mind that kind of stuff. But we've reached a point where they've doubled the price on Hasbro Marvel figures, but the quality hasn't doubled. So fuck them. But you will not get any new videos from me this weekend because I will be having fun with Wrestlemania, even though it's Wrestlemania. So be on the lookout for some shorts from Dion and I. Kendo will probably get some drunk phone calls, and Nick will get nothing. He loses. Good day, sir. So until next time, folks. Yeah, thank you.
I'll be home all weekend, so just call me.
You'll be a homo all weekend?
Oh, you're going to get called, dog. My wife's going to be here, too. You're getting drunk dialed a bunch. I'm going to send you some fucked up voice messages because I'm excited.
That's fine.
Dion,
as long as the kid doesn't have the phone, because if he's got the phone, I put the do not disturb on. Because the last time I didn't have that on, he sent some memes that I got from Pete and to people that I'm just like, holy shit, he didn't send them to the wrong people. This is good.
Yeah, Pete ones for sure. Your kid's gonna be different.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain why your child's sending turkey colostomy memes to people.
That's why the do not disturb is always on whenever I have to give him my phone to play with. I'm like, nope, because if he gets the little message pop up, he clicks on it, and then I don't know what happens with it after that. I have found what happens after that a couple of times, and I'm like, oh, I'm glad these went to the right people because I could get into a lot of trouble if they went to the wrong people. So D&D, that's the way to go.
Yeah, folks, we'll have a nice Easter. Dion, guess what we're doing for Easter?
Ham and wrestling.
Rum ham.
Ooh, rum ham.
I took it over to Phil's yesterday. He's soaking it.
Let's go.
So, folks, thank you for watching. We'll be back next time with more. But in the meantime, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.
.com.
Who's that Pokemon?
John Cena!